Hey everybody, Harold Reynolds here from MLB Network. Thanks for attending today's Atlantic League game. Baseball is the greatest game in the world, and again this season, Major League Baseball and the Atlantic League are experimenting with rule changes based on fan feedback that are designed to increase action, improve pace of play, and reduce injuries. A test rule you might recognize is the double hook designated hitter, which returns this year with a couple changes. As you recall, last year a team lost its designated hitter when the starting pitcher left the game. In 2022, as long as the starting pitcher completes 5 innings, then he can be relieved and your club does not lose a designated hitter. But if the pitcher doesn't go 5 innings, guess what? You lose your DH. Now also returning is this one. It's the pass ball rule. In 2019, which allowed the batter to take off for first base with any time that a pitch was not caught by the catcher. This year, if the batter reaches first base, they'll be credited with, get this, a base hit. We're excited to see these ideas play out, and we're glad that you'll be watching with us. Enjoy the game.
Don't miss your chance to see baseball in the Triad as the High Point Rockers are back in town at Truist Point. Summer is here, and you don't want to miss any of the rockin' fun. For tickets and information, go to highpointrockers.com.
I'll be the last man standing here. What you gonna do? I'm gonna rock you. What you gonna do? I'm gonna rock you. What you gonna do? I'm gonna rock you. I'll have you begging for mercy, begging for mercy. Oh, oh. I'm dangerous. So dangerous.
Brought to you by baseball.
I'm dangerous. So dangerous.
Welcome back into the Rockers pregame show on the Rockers Baseball Network, and welcome into those of you joining us on YouTube as we get set for first pitch tonight between the High Point Rockers and the Gastonia Honey Hunters. Time to take a look now at today's starting lineups. First off, for the visiting Gastonia squad managed by Mauro Gazzo. Leading off, playing right field, Reese Hampton. Jack Reinheimer, the shortstop, batting in the number 2 spot. Luis Roman, the third baseman, hits third. Zach Jarrett is the left fielder, and he will bat in the cleanup spot. Luis Castro, the designated hitter, batting 5th. Jake Skoll in center field hits 6th. Jalen Smith is the second baseman, batting 7th. Emmanuel Tapia is the first baseman, hitting 8th. Batting 9th, catching today, is Alex Holderbach. Player to watch today for the Honey Hunters. Well, it's not so much a player as it is a stretch of lineup, and that is the 3, 4, 5 spot in the Gastonia lineup. Luis Roman, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs against High Point. Zach Jarrett, 3 and 7. Luis Castro, 2 and 8. So this is a section of the Honey Hunter lineup that has been able to do some damage against High Point this year. So that is the section of the lineup that Sam Burton is going to have to focus on the most. Now, this is a good Gastonia lineup top to bottom. Don't get me wrong. There is not really a quote-unquote easy spot in the lineup, but that section right there, more so than any other stretch in the lineup, you will not be able to catch your breath on the mound if you're Sam Burton. Now, the lineup for Jamie Keefe and the High Point Rockers. Leading off and playing third base today is Michael Russell. Ben Aklinski is the center fielder, batting in the number 2 spot. Hitting third is Jerry Downs. He's the first baseman today. Cleanup hitter in right field, Xander Wheel. Logan Morrison, the designated hitter, bats 5th. Cesar Trejo is the left fielder, hitting in the number 6 spot. Tyler Ladendorf is the right fielder, hitting 7th. The second baseman, hitting 7th. Mike Galino, the catcher, bats 8th. And Giovanni Alfonso, the shortstop, batting in the number 9 spot. Player to watch today, that's Ben Aklinski. Rockers struggled a little bit with production from the top of the lineup yesterday, and while they've got some good bats in the middle of the lineup, it all begins with getting guys on base. And while traditionally during the Rockers slump here in the summer, getting guys on base has not been an issue, but it was a little bit yesterday. So for High Point, get back to what's been working so successfully for you, and that is getting guys on. The problem at one point was just trying to figure out how to get them in. Now you've got to get them back on before you can get them in. So for High Point today, you're going to have a tough challenge against Gastonia starting pitching, but it starts with base runners. Speaking of starting pitching, for Gastonia, it is the veteran John Anderson, 8-4 with a 4.17 earned run average this year. 16 starts this season for the Honey Hunters, 85 hits and 86 innings, 66 strikeouts, and 37 walks. The numbers for Anderson there. And the big thing for the Rockers today is base runners. We just talked about it with High Point's lineup, and you think about what Anderson has been able to do this year. The big thing, the Rockers got a very uncharacteristic and favorable matchup the last time they faced Anderson. Went 5 innings, gave up 4 runs, 3 of them earned, but here was the big kicker. He's a guy who's averaging about 3 walks per game. The Rockers got him for 6 the last time they saw him. So for High Point today, you've got to get base runners, and do not swing at pitches out of the zone. Don't go chasing. Don't go giving Anderson strike one. That's the thing. He's not going to strike out a ton of guys. He'll get a few, but he's not going to wow you in terms of strikeout numbers. So for High Point today, one of the big things to focus on is just making sure you're swinging at strikes. We have seen lots of times recently where High Point has helped the opposing pitcher out by chasing pitches out of the strike zone, specifically pitches down out of the strike zone. So for High Point today, plate discipline will go a long way. On the other side, we mentioned Sam Burton making his first ever start as a member of the High Point Rockers. He's no stranger to the Atlantic League, going 6-8 last year with a career high 81 strikeouts in the Atlantic League, but making his first High Point Rockers start today. He's also not a stranger to the Triad. He pitched collegiately at Winston-Salem State from 2015 and 2016, so this is a guy who has been around here in the Piedmont of North Carolina, no stranger to this area, and the Rockers will ask him to take the hill today and try to give them a series victory. One of the things that Frank Viola told me earlier today about Sam Burton, he said, look, This is a guy whose stuff is not going to blow you away. You're not just going to look at it and go, oh my goodness, that looks amazing. What he is going to do is he's going to battle you on the mound. He's going to be a competitor. And he said, look, this is a guy who can grind it for 5-6 innings, however long you need. So for the Rockers today, they're just going to ask him to simply keep it close. They're not going to go out and ask him to reinvent the wheel, but the whole point is give the offense a chance to be in this game by the time you get into the 7th, 8th, 9th innings. And so the Rockers do think that their bullpen can match up with Gastonia's, and normally it will, although they did have a couple of hiccups yesterday. But for the most part, that if you can just get to the bullpen, to the back half of the game with either a lead or a close-by deficit, that's what you need for High Point to have a shot today, is just to be able to keep it close. So we are waiting here on the team to head out for the national anthem, which should be coming here any moment now. And once the team takes the field, we will step aside for our final break before we get set for High Point Rockers baseball here on a Sunday afternoon. It is warm here in High Point, but you know what? Maybe that's just what the team needs. Maybe they need that little extra boost to warm up the bats and warm up the fastball a little bit more, and ultimately, I'm not warming up a winning streak. That would be good. This is a team that has been alternating wins and losses for the last 7 games. They've finally at least been able to put some wins together, which is great, but now you've got to be able to put them consecutively. They've won 3 of their last 7 games, but you need to now be able to get out there and win a couple games in a row. The team is heading out for the national anthem, so with that, we will step aside one final time, and when we come back, it's the Rockers, it's the Honey Hunters, it's Sunday afternoon baseball, and it's next on the Rockers Baseball Network.
Please join us as we now honor America and those who protect her both at home and abroad with the singing of our national anthem. Performed today by David Kramer.
Rockers fans, we are so thrilled to have you all join us right here at Truist Point and during our broadcast via YouTube. Thank you for rooting on your home squad.
Well, here in the middle of the dog days of summer, it just seems fitting to have a pitcher with a bulldog mentality on the mound here today. Sunday afternoon baseball, High Point Rockers style, as the Rockers take on the Gastonia Honey Hunters in the rubber match of this 3-game weekend series. Good afternoon, everyone. Kendrick Fruits here with you from Truist Point, High Point, North Carolina, as Sam Burton makes his High Point Rockers debut, facing his former squad spent last year both with Gastonia and Southern Maryland, and he's about to throw his first pitch in a High Point Rockers uniform. Leading off for Gastonia, Reese Hampton. It's Hampton, Reinheimer, Roman, Jarrett Castro, Scholl, Smith, Tapia, and Holderbach, the 3 scheduled hitters. Sam Burton towing the rubber, ready to get things underway here on Sunday afternoon. He works third base side of the rubber, gets the sign from Mike Galino, comes set, and he's ready to go. First pitch, fastball high. We're underway at 4:06 this afternoon. It's 92 degrees, partly cloudy. Burton fires a fastball, strike at the knees, and the count 1-1. First pitch time and weather brought to you by Grandover Resorts in Greensboro. Live, work, enjoy. Here comes the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Took something off of that one. And coming up empty was Hampton, the count 1-2. Last year, Burton 6-8 between Southern Maryland and Gastonia. Career high 81 strikeouts last year. Again, he's not a guy who's going to wow you with his stuff, but he will battle. Weak flare into left field. Right there is Trejo, and he will put it away for the first out of the ball game. Let's set the Rockers defensively here for you. Cesar Trejo is in left. Ben Aklinski is in center. Xander Wheel is in right field today. Michael Russell at third base. Giovanni Alfonso the shortstop. Tyler Ladendorf at second. Jerry Downs at first. And Mike Galino is behind the plate. Jack Reinheimer, shortstop. First pitch misses, ball 1. And the count 1-0. Reinheimer hitting at .278, 9 home runs, 44 runs batted in. Burton takes a lot off of that one. 69-mile-an-hour curveball in there for a strike. And the count goes to 1-1. The righty takes a deep breath, now fires the 1-1 outside, 2-1. Lindy Hall behind the plate today. Calvin Baker, the first base umpire, and Carlos Echeverria down the third base side. Two-one on the way. Burton's off-speed pitch fouled off the bat of Reinheimer. Jack had a 2-hit game against the Rockers yesterday. Came into this series hitting .209 against High Point, is now hitting .245 against them, so this has been a productive series for the Honey Hunter middle infielder. Here's the 2-2 fastball high, and the count goes full. Wind blowing out towards left field, same as it was yesterday. Here's the 3-2. Popped up, foul territory. That ball will get well out of play. And the count remains full. It's a family fun day here at the ballpark. Kids are going to run the bases following the conclusion of today's game. Rockers hoping to circle the bases quite a few times themselves as Reinheimer fouls this off first base side, just reaching for that pitch, and more a defensive swing than anything, trying to stay alive, and he succeeded in doing so. Notable name absent from the Honey Hunter lineup today, Joseph Rosa, who is the first base coach right now for the Honey Hunters. There's another 3-2 curveball, outside ball 4, and Reinheimer will work a walk, and that'll bring up Luis Roman. Roman hitting .249, 10 home runs, 38 runs batted in, and he has stolen 10 bases this year. So double play, a possibility here for High Point. They'll have to turn it quickly. Reinheimer's got a lot of speed. Roman is no slouch himself. And Burton delivers. First pitch fastball low. And the count 1 ball, no strikes. Burton began the season with Gastonia. Didn't make the team out of camp, so he signed with the Ogden Raptors of the Pioneer League, where he was 3-0 with Ogden. Runner goes. That pitch low. Galeno, no chance to throw out Reinheimer. Looked like the ball might have slipped on the transfer anyways. So that is Jack's 34th stolen base this year. Between he and Hampton, that is 74 stolen bases from the top 2 in the Honey Hunter lineup. 2-0 to Roman. Burton fires curveball, strike, top of the zone. And the count 2-1. Fans still filing in here at the ballpark. Here's the 2-1 as timeout called. Roman not quite ready. Today, the Rockers' final home game in the month of July. That pitch down low gets away from Galeno just for a moment. Reinheimer entertained ideas about heading to third, but ultimately decided not to do so. The count 3-1 now. High Point will be on the road all of next week before coming home August 2nd, 3rd, and 4th for a home series against the Genomes. Here comes the 3-1 to Roman. Fastball strike. And the count goes full. 1 out here, top of the first inning. If you're just joining us, you have not missed anything yet. Here comes the 3-2 from Burton. Looking back at Reinheimer, now delivers off speed inside. And that is his second consecutive walk. So runners on first and second now for Zach Jarrett. Jarrett, a guy who has been a bit of an issue for the Rockers, hitting .302 against High Point with 3 home runs, .296 on the year, with 11 home runs, 43 batted in. We have talked about it a little bit yesterday. We'll dive into it a little bit deeper today. The Honey Hunters have multiple players who are a threat to join the 2020 club this year. As the first pitch to Jarrett, a big swing and a miss. The count 0-1. Zach Jarrett is one of them. He comes into today's game 11 home runs, 25 batted in. So he's already got the, or 11 home runs, 25 steals, excuse me. So he's already got the steals. Fastball strike at the knees, 0-2. Elsewhere on the team, you've got Jake Skoll, 14 home runs and 19 steals. He seems almost a lock to end up in the 2020 club this year. Luis Roman, 10-10. Rosa, 15 home runs, 8 steals. As Jarrett hits this one on the ground, snagged by Downs, goes to second for 1. That's all the Rockers are going to get. Good play, though, by Jerry Downs. His momentum taking him to second. They cut Roman off for the second out of the inning. Reinheimer goes to third. Jarrett safe at first. So runners at the corners now for Luis Castro, hitting .274, 7 home runs, and 30 runs batted in. And yes, he can steal too. He's got 12. This Honey Hunters team, 188 stolen bases. They swiped 4 yesterday. Burton set, ready, first pitch. Off speed, but it's going to catch the inside corner. 70-mile-an-hour strike. Counts the same as a 95-mile-an-hour strike. And the count 0-1. On the way. Runner breaks for second. This one hit high in the air into left center. Going back is Trejo. Going back also is Aklinski, who flags it down on the run before putting his hands out on the wall to stop his momentum, and that is the final out of the inning. Well, Luis Castro took it to the extreme edge of the ballpark. Ben Aklinski was able to keep it in. We go to the bottom of the first inning, no score on the Rockers Baseball Network.
in the whole world. That's hype the rockin' horns. So let's cheer him on. Let's cheer him on as he makes his way around the field. For all of our farm equipment needs, remember to be sure to visit City Farm Equipment in Lexington, North Carolina. Give it up. Hype, Darrell's best mascot. Hype the rockin' horns for your High Point Rockers. Gilbert Technical Community College offers a great education while offering quality and, of course, affordability and support. Choose GTCC. Choose success. Learn more at www.gtcc.edu today.
Well, it's Mr. Reliable on the mound for Gastonia today. Left-hander John Anderson, 8-4 with a 4.17 earned run average. This is his 17th start of the year. 86 innings pitched, 85 hits, 66 strikeouts, and 37 walks allowed. Again, the lineup that he will face today is Russell Leklinski Downs, Wheel Morrison Trejo, Ladendorf, Galino, and Alfonso. Michael Russell, who's had himself quite a week, really quite a return back from the injured list. We'll look into that later today, but all you need to know right now is if you remember the 2019 version of Michael, or the 2021 version of Michael Russell that won the Atlantic League batting title, that's who this guy looks like right now. Hitting .237 on the year, 2 home runs, 25 runs batted in. Anderson's first pitch of the night, Russell swings, lines it into right field, but right at Reese Hampton. Stop me if you've heard this one before. It's a hard-hit baseball from a rocker right at a defender. First out of the inning brings up Leklinski, 277, 12 home runs, 47 batted in. We'll set Gastonia defensively. Zach Jarrett in left, Jake Skoll in center, Reese Hampton in right, Luis Roman at third, Jack Reinheimer at short, Jalen Smith at second, Manuel Tapia at first base, and Alex Holderbach catches strike one behind the plate. The count 0-1 to Leklinski. Anderson fires. This one hit on the ground to short. Easy play for Reinheimer. The throw promotes a bit of a stretch from Emmanuel Tapia, but the play is made. That's the second out of the inning. Here's Jerry Downs, 281, 12 home runs, 43 driven home this season. Lefty-lefty matchup. Rockers today with the home whites, Gastonia the road grays.
First baseman number 28, Jerry Downs.
First pitch to Downs, there's a fastball strike in the count 0-1. Well, Downs may not be quite on the pace that he was on last year, but he has still been one of the Rockers' best hitters in the middle of the lineup. Fouls that one off in the count 0-2. He'll still end the season around 20 home runs. He'll probably be in the neighborhood 75 RBIs or so. Here comes the pitch to Downs. That's bounced in the turf, and the count goes to 1-2. Anderson ready. 1-2 on the way. The lefty fires. Downs thought about offering. Oh my goodness! That's terrible. That ball, wow. They're going to say that went around. He did not at all. That is a 1-2-3 inning with a little bit of help from Carlos Echeverria. The third base umpire rings up Jerry Downs, and we go to the top of the second. No score on the Rockers Baseball Network. Top two, no score here between High Point and Gastonia on a sunny and hot Sunday afternoon. You know, a couple of days ago, we thought we may be talking about the hottest game in Rockers history. Got close today. 92, hottest game in team history, 95. So that should put it into perspective. I was talking with Gastonia's radio voice Brian Rushing a little bit ago before the game, and we were talking about comparing the turf here at High Point with the turf in Gastonia, and we kind of came to an interesting conclusion as that pitch inside in the count 1-0. We decided that the air temp usually feels hotter here in High Point, but the turf temp is far and away hotter at Caramont Health Park as that pitch to Skoll misses low in the count 2-0. It's Skoll, Smith, and Tapia. Pitch misses outside, 3-0 now. Sam Burton, again, a small sample size, and I'm trying to go back on what I remember from last year as well. He'll throw a lot of pitches. Throws inside there, ball 4. Leadoff walk for Skoll. So speed at first base. Here's Jalen Smith hitting .300 on the nose with 4 runs batted in. Rockers middle infield in double play depth. First pitch to Smith on top of the curveball, and the count 0-1. Well, for the Rockers, the issue has been putting wins together. The good news is this past week they've started winning games. The problem is they can't win 2 in a row. This one bunted right in front of the mound. Burton bobbles the ball, and there's going to be no throw. A good bunt by Jalen Smith. Sam Burton, even if he had not bobbled the baseball, it would have been really tight at first base, and my opinion, that was the good decision to hold on to that baseball. So that's the first hit of the game for either side. Jake Skoll heads to second, and Emmanuel Tapia is the batter. 232, 7 home runs, and 38 batted in. 3 of those 7 come against High Point. First pitch on the way, off speed down and away in the count 1-0. Runners on first and second. Nobody out here in the second. Outside with that one is Sam Burton. Again, Frank Viola said before the game he's not going to wow you with this stuff, but he'll battle and keep you in it. And that's really all High Point is asking for today. They've yet to win a series in the second half. It has been disappointing, perhaps an understatement to describe the second half start for High Point, as that misses outside. And now for the second time in 3 hitters, Sam Burton down 3-0. He delivers a fastball. There's a strike at the knees. And the count 3-1. Fastball sitting mid-80s. The righty set and delivers the 3-1. Big swing from Tapia. Comes up empty, though. And the count goes full. Burton already at 32 pitches. On the flip side, Anderson only threw 7 in the bottom of the first. Payoff pitch on the way. Runners dancing off of their respective bases. That had Burton's attention, and he steps off. Jake Skoll over there at second base. A hop, skip, and a jump, almost getting him halfway down the third baseline, or towards third base. Sam Burton said, we can't have that. Payoff pitch on the way to Tapia. High fly ball deep into right field. That ball is gone into the second row. A 3-run home run. You know, I said earlier that Zach Jarrett was the thorn in the Rockers' side. It may be this guy, because he doesn't hit a lot against High Point. It's just that every time he does, it usually clears the fence. It does here, and the Honey Hunters take a 3-run lead here in the second.
The catcher, number 11, Alex Holderbach.
Here's Alex Holderbach hitting 200 with a home run and 15 batted in. That pitch a strike, and they count 0-1. Burton delivers. This one popped up behind the plate. Galino trying to shield his eyes with his hand, but that ball gets out of play. The count 0-2. That pitch swung on, hit high in the air into right field again. This time it'll stay in play. Xander Wheel drifting glove side. That's to his left towards the foul pole. Makes the catch. Plenty of room on all sides, though, and that is the first out of the inning. Brings up Reese Hampton.
Number 3, Reese Hampton.
Hampton flied out to left his first time up. He is currently the only member of the Atlantic League with 40 stolen bases. So even a guy like Hampton, whose on-base percentage doesn't blow you away, you just know once he gets on what he's going to do. He bunts this one right in front of the mound. They're going to make Burton try to field this one. He does successfully this time. And Hampton is retired 1-3 for the second out of the inning.
The shortstop, number 1, Jack Reinheimer.
There's Jack Reinheimer, walked and stole a base last inning. A couple quick outs here from Burton, unfortunately. Came after a rough start in the second inning. There's a fastball just off the outside edge. Close pitch there. The count 1-0. Swing and a miss. Ooh, a nasty looking off-speed pitch there. Reinheimer drops down to a knee. On that swing, comes up empty in the count 1-1. We mentioned yesterday the Rockers traded Chris Proctor to Lancaster for Cole Aker. That pitch misses away. The count 2-1. Aker is here. I saw him this morning, met him, talked to him for 30 seconds. So more help in the Rockers bullpen. Here comes the 2-1 to Reinheimer. High, deep foul, left field side, but that ball, an absolute moonshot up over the playground area down the left field side. Count now 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, in this season series, the Honey Hunters now 16 home runs against High Point. High Point has hit 13. Sam Burton last year, again between Southern Maryland and Gastonia, as Reinheimer swings and misses strike 3. Burton, though, gave up 25 home runs in 113 innings last year. A 3-run home run by Emmanuel Tapia gives the Honey Hunters a 3-0 advantage as we head to the bottom of inning number 2 on the Rockers Baseball Network.
Hey Rockers fans, Brittany here coming to you all live from the High Pint. We want you to all head on over to the High Pint right where I'm at and grab some brand new Rockers merchandise. We look forward to seeing you sport your favorite game day swag right here in the stands.
And automotive. Please, fans, turn your attention now to the jumbo time. And make sure to shout out your answer. It's the tire jumbo.
Bottom of inning number 2. Gastonia with a 3-0 advantage. High Point with 4, 5, 6 coming up. That is Wheel, Morrison, and Trejo. Logan Morrison had a couple of days off after playing left field twice against the Legends earlier in the week, and felt a little sore after having done so. I don't know that outfield position, he doesn't run a whole lot normally, playing either at first base or the DH, but they had him running all over the field in Lexington. And that's not to say the Rockers pitchers were being hit hard, maybe a little bit on Thursday, but Logan Morrison, though, did quite a bit of trekking out there. Here's the 1-0 to Wheel. Swings, hits this one off the end of the bat to short. Easy hop there for Reinheimer. And nice and tidy-like. That is the 4th straight hitter retired by Anderson. Rockers injury report today. Still 3 players on the injured list. John Hayes, Michael Martinez, and Neil Uscali. Should mention, in addition to the retirement of Austin Glorious yesterday, Johnny Barbado announced his as well. Signed with the Rockers before the season started. Looked really, really good from what I was told in a closed scrimmage during the exhibition week as Morrison takes a strike. But something happened either with his arm or his shoulder and has not pitched since, has not thrown since, and decided to hang them up as well yesterday. So we have removed him from the injured list, so it now only houses 3 Rockers. Here's the 0-1. Morrison, a weak ground ball to first. Tapia will make the play easily and will beat Morris into the bag by a solid 4 steps. It's the second out of the inning, and that brings up the former Honey Hunter, the former Blue Crab, Cesar Trejo. Trejo this year is hitting .318 during his time in the Atlantic League. At .353 in 7 games with Gastonia, 1 for 5 with High Point so far, takes a strike. Was a solid hitter for High Point last year. They had him the beginning part of the year before trading him to Stan Clyburn in Southern Maryland. Rockers just had a full outfield last year, and Clyburn was in need of one. Trejo fouls that off in the count 0-2. That's one of the things, one of the reasons people love playing for Jamie. He is always going to do right by the players in terms of making sure that if there's an opportunity for a young guy to get playing time somewhere else, even if it means giving him up, he will do that as Trejo swings and misses. That pitch down in the turf, strike 3. And John Anderson's retired the first 6 hitters he's faced. As we go to the top of the 3rd inning, we'll start it off with a look at the Atlantic League standings when we come back on the Rockers Baseball Network.
Welcome to High Point University. On this campus, we are focused on preparing students for the world as it is going to be.
Hi, I'm Steve Lufkin, the WAS, and I'm proud to be High Point University's Innovator in Residence.
I'm Sip Martin, CEO of the Dallas Mavericks, and I am proud to be High Point University's Sports Executive in Residence.
I'm Mark Randolph, and I'm proud to be the Entrepreneur in Residence at the premier Life Skills University, High Point University.
Hey, Rockers fans! Today's T-shirt toss is brought to you by Carolina Kia. If you need service done to your car, look no further than Carolina Kia of High Point. All right, Rockers fans, we can hear you. Who wants a Rockers shirt? Make some noise! Rockers fans, free Rockers shirts, make some noise! It's the Carolina Kia T-shirt toss.
Top of the 3rd inning. It is a 3-0 Gastonia lead over High Point as we take a quick peek at the Atlantic League standings. Well, in the North Division, it is Lancaster right now on top, 12-5. 2-game lead over Southern Maryland. Staten Island 3 out, York 5.5 out, Long Island 6.5 out. As Luis Roman leads things off here in the top of the 3rd. First pitch coming from Burton, timeout called. Looks like there may be a concern with some of the audio routing here. Going to get that all figured out. And here comes the first pitch, fastball, a strike, and the count 0-1. In the South Division, Gastonia on top, 14-2. They have a 6-game advantage over Lexington, 6.5 over Charleston, 7 over Kentucky, and High Point is 11 back. This one popped up, foul territory, first base side. Galino and Downs both there. Jerry Downs will put it away, and that is the first out of the inning. That brings up Zach Jarrett. Jarrett reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. Sam Burton off to a much better start here in the 3rd inning. 46 pitches right now. One thing Frank Viola told me, because he has pitched in the Pioneer League a couple of starts this year, it's not like they have to build him up like they did with O'Sullivan. This one popped up. Foul territory, first base side. Jerry Downs jogging and makes the catch in the High Point bullpen. That's the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up Luis Castro now. Castro, fly ball to right.
Designated hitter, number 12, Luis Castro.
But again, I think the goal for Burton today, at least for High Point. What they're saying is they want to be able to get him 5-6 innings, something like that, and keep the team within striking distance. Other than the third inning, or the second inning rather, he's been able to do that. First pitch high, and the count 1-0. Fastball strike, and the count 1-1 now to Castro. Mostly blue skies here. You see a couple of wispier clouds, not crowds, clouds up overhead. Here comes the pitch low, and the count 2-1. No issues in terms of weather today, which is good. It's also a good thing the Rockers are going on the road this week, because forecast does not look good over the next 7 days here in High Point. Here comes the 2-1. Burton, fastball, high and away, in the count 3-1. Rockers will be back at Wild Health Field to take on the Genomes the 26th, 7th, and 8th. That is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And then it took them all the way to the end of July, but they will make their first trip to Waldorf to take on the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs. Here's the 3-1, off speed, outside. That is a walk to Castro. For Burton, that is the fourth walk issued already here in the third inning. And it brings up Jake Skoll, who's walked and scored. 2 outs, top 3. Gastonia 3 runs on 2 hits, no errors. The Rockers zeros all across the board. Yesterday, both teams played error-free ball. In fact, they did on Friday as well, so this has been a good defensive series for both teams. Rockers are the best defensive team in the Atlantic League. Gastonia right about middle of the pack. That pitch down low. And the count 1-0. They are 4th out of 10, so maybe the top of the middle. Let's put it that way, the top of the middle. 2 teams in Kentucky, the worst 2. The Genomes the worst, Legends second worst. There's a strike, runner goes, throw to second base is well behind the runner. Castro's 13th steal of the year. And the Honey Hunters against High Point this year, now 34 out of 42 in stolen bases. Runner at second, 2 outs and a 1-1 count to Skoll. Pitch number 55 coming from Burton. Curveball outside. And the count 2-1. The righty set. Another curveball stays away. The count 3-1 now, and all of a sudden, Burton struggling with the strike zone. 31 strikes out of 56 pitches. One bad one away from putting on Skoll. And now timeout called at the plate. The flag's out in left center, whipping around. Again, wind blowing towards left field. Easily the windiest day of the series. Here comes the 3-1. Fastball strike on the inside corner, and the count goes full. Well, July, the Rockers spent the majority of it on the road. Of course, that's how they'll end it. August, everything kind of evens out. And then they will be more at home in September than on the road. That pitch, strike 3 on the inside corner. Skoll was trying to sell it for ball 4. But Lindy Hall wasn't buying. Rockers put up a 0 for Gastonia in the top of the third. We head to the bottom of the third now. It's 3-0 Honey Hunters on the Rockers Baseball Network.
Some of our very special groups today. We welcome the Immaculate Heart of Mary. Welcome High Point Pony Pinto Gardner.
Brittany here, coming to you all live from the High Point. it is time to highlight yet another fantastic Rockers player. Let's shine a light on Giovanni Alfonso. Did you know that Gio was born in Venezuela and he attended college both at Florida State and the University of Tampa? He was the University of Tampa's starting shortstop. Gio was drafted in the 21st round in 2015 by the Miami Marlins, and he has played right around 6 seasons of professional baseball thus far. Gio comes from a long family history of baseball players. His dad, Edgar, played 14 years of minor league baseball, and his uncle, Eduardo, spent 11 years in the MLB. I guess we can say it runs in his blood. Let's give a huge round of applause. On the 4th of July, against the Gastonia Honey Hunters, Gio breaks the Rockers team record for career hits. Congrats, Gio! I hope you enjoyed learning about your Rockers player.
Bottom of inning number 3. It is a 3-0 Gastonia lead. Rockers have the bottom 3 in the lineup coming up here. Ladendorf, Galino, and Alfonso, the 3 scheduled hitters. Ladendorf hitting at .244, 10 home runs, 32 batted in. Of his 10 home runs, 3 of them have come against the Honey Hunters. Rockers still looking not only for their first hit, but for their first base runner. Still plenty of ball to be played. First pitch, a strike, and the count 0-1. High fastball there from Anderson, an aggressive, athletic play there by Holderbach to keep that one in front of him, and the count 1-1. Comes the pitch, fastball. Ladendorf can't catch up to it. And the count 1-2. Anderson ready, 1-2 on the way. Off speed, Ladendorf able to get a piece of it though. He stays alive, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Tyler, part of that 9th inning rally yesterday. Rockers ultimately couldn't come all the way back, but Ladendorf hit a bloop single into left field to cut it to 5-3. He's on pace for one of his best offensive seasons. Not normally a big home run hitter, but could set a career high this season. Anderson takes a long peer in, now ready with the 1-2. High fastball, the count 2-2. We talked about it a little bit earlier today, about a lot of hard hit baseballs from Rockers hitters that unfortunately have been hit right at defenders recently, and I think no one has been more snake bitten by that than the man at the plate. Here comes the 1-2. Off speed, Ladendorf lines this one right into left field, and Jarrett is there. Right on cue, another hard hit baseball leads to an out. That'll bring up Mike Galino, 261, a home run and 13 batted in. His 1 home run this year has come against the Honey Hunters. However, it did come over the short left field wall at Caramont Health Park. First pitch, ball 1 here from Anderson. His ERA approaching 4. It is 4.06 now. Galino skies this one into right. Hampton towards the foul line, crosses into foul territory, and the ball out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike now. Hampton on his way back. As This was the second baseman, Jalen Smith, who was on his way out there as well. Galino just now picking up his bat and crossing home plate to get back into the right-hand box. In the top of the fourth inning, we'll take a look at the Atlantic League scoreboard and see what else is going on. 2 games have yet to begin. There were a couple of 5:05 starts today, but we'll fill you in on everything else that's happened today as Anderson bounces that one in the turf and the count 2-1. Number 9 hitter in the lineup, Galino in the on-deck circle. Check that, Alfonso in the on-deck circle. Galino is at the plate. Anderson takes a long look in. Galino asks for time. One thing I've noticed today about John Anderson, he is not in a rush. Almost as if he's lulling the hitters to sleep at times. Here comes the 2-1. Fastball, Galino lines this one into right, coming in on it, and making the catch is Hampton. Brings up Giovanni Alfonso now, hitting at 304. I'll tell you what, if there is a baseball bank somewhere that will allow you to cash in hard hit outs and eventually turn it into something, I think it's about time for the Rockers to get paid. That's 2 hard lineouts this inning. First pitch to Alfonso down in the turf and the count 1-0. Top of the lineup in the on-deck circle. Here comes the 1-0. This one popped up foul, right field side. It will clear the Catalyst Club and end up, I assume, either on the concourse or up on the roof of the Catalyst Club. It is out of our line of sight, however you want to slice it. 1-1 on the way from Anderson. The lefty fires off speed outside, and the count 2-1. Well, for High Point, only notched 6 hits yesterday, 6 hits the day before. Still looking for number 1 this afternoon. Here's the pitch. Fouled into the netting over the Rockers' dugout. And the count 2-2. Alfonso staying just above 300, hit 304 right now. I'll tell you what, after really a tough season in 2019, he's been one of the Rockers' most reliable hitters ever since. That pitch low in the count full. And really, he ended 2019 on a good stretch, was hitting about 212, ended up in the 240s. Last year, hit 273. Chases that one down, though, strike 3. John Anderson has ended each of the first 3 innings with a strikeout and has retired the Rockers in order the first time through the lineup. We head to the top of the 4th inning. Gastonia leads at 3-0 on the Rockers Baseball Network. Top of the 4th inning, Gastonia with a 3-0 lead over High Point right now. They have the bottom 3 in the lineup, Smith, Tapia, and Holderbach, the 3 scheduled hitters coming up. Let's take a look at the Atlantic League scoreboard, see what else is going on around the Atlantic League. A couple of other games in progress, 2 of them in the later stages. Lancaster and York, they are tied at 8 in the bottom of the 7th inning there. Lexington had a more comfortable lead over Staten Island. Not so much now. Bottom of the 8th inning, Legends lead 4-3 over the Ferry Hawks. Genomes and Dirty Birds about to get underway, as are the Blue Crabs and the Ducks. Eddie Butler and Akil Morris, the starting matchup in that one. Back in High Point, Sam Burton's first pitch, fastball strike at the knees to Jalen Smith. He singled and scored his first time up. Burton has only allowed 2 hits today. He's walked 4, but kept the Honey Hunters off balance. Weak ground ball to short. Alfonso charges in. Off balance throw, speaking of, is in time to retire Smith, and that's out number 1. The hitter, Emmanuel Tapia, 3-run home run, accounts for all the scoring today. Should mention that was his 8th home run of the season, and he is up to 41 runs batted in now. Sam Burton is at 60 pitches here in the top of the 4th. First pitch, fastball. That's high and deep into right as well. Wheel goes back. That ball gone. Emmanuel Tapia, his 2nd home run of the game. And it's now 4-0 Gastonia. He now has 9 home runs on the year. 5 of them have come against High Point. That'll bring up Alex Holderbach. He flew out to right field his first time up. And Burton ready with the first pitch. Curveball inside. And the count 1-0. Well, there's really 2 different ways of looking at it right now. On the one hand, what's it matter what the offense does if the pitching is struggling? On the other side, what's it matter what the pitching does if you can't get a hit? Here comes the 2-0. That's down low, goes back to the backstop, and the count 3-0 now. Rockers have dealt with a lot of retirements over the last couple of days. Chasen Bradford retired after Thursday's game. Glorious and Barbado yesterday. Here's the 3-0, fastball strike, and the count 3-1. Sam Burton, how about this? He is the 5th former Gastonia Honey Hunter to play for High Point this year. 3-1 hit on the ground, right back to the mound. Burton sticks the glove up, makes the play. The underhand toss will retire Holderbach for the 2nd out of the inning. And that brings up Hampton, who's 0 for 2. The other 4, Austin Glorious, William Kerwin, Miles Williams, and Cesar Trejo. Hampton hitting at .242 now. On base percentage for him is .342. Actually, it's gotten better. It was a lot lower at one point, but I halfway retract what I said earlier about him not being able to get on base at a higher rate. I think you'd like it to be a little bit higher, but overall not bad. And while I will in absolutely no way, shape, or form, Hampton swings, lines this into right, a base hit. 2-out single brings up Reinheimer. While I will in no way, shape, or form say that Reese Hampton is like Ricky Henderson, it does draw a similarity in terms of reputation, in the sense that even if you know that he's going to take off for second and try to steal a base, he's still very likely to be successful anyways. And that was the quote about Ricky Henderson, is everybody in the stadium knew he was going and he was still going to steal it anyways. That's kind of how it feels with Hampton this year. 48 stolen base attempts, and he's been successful in 40 of them. Runner goes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second base. That was actually close, but Hampton is in safely with stolen base number 41. Galino's throw just a little bit late, but a little more drama on that one than perhaps we were expecting. Runner at second base, though, now in 2 outs. The count 0-1 to Reinheimer. Burton ready. Here's the 0-1. Fastball low in the count 1-1. Well, speaking of Ricky Henderson, obviously a Major League Baseball Hall of Famer, there are 3 Atlantic League items, if you will, in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. And with this being Hall of Fame induction weekend, we'll take a look at what some of those are throughout the rest of the game. That curveball high, 2-1. The induction ceremony actually going on right now. David Ortiz just finished his speech moments ago. Jim Catt obviously is already gone. The daughter of the late, great Gil Hodges presented Gil for enshrinement. That pitch down in the count 3-1. Great day for baseball, and obviously the long overdue enshrinement of Buck O'Neil as well. Which, I'll be honest, when they announced the inductees back in November from the Veterans Committee, I had to go research myself because in my head I just already assumed O'Neil was already in. Here comes the 3-1. Fastball outside, ball 4. Runners at first and second now. Reinheimer has now walked twice today. And that is the 5th walk issued by Burton. And now Joe Geck, the trainer, going out with Frank Viola. We'll take a look and see whether or not something is up with Sam Burton. The infield is coming in as well. And they're going to bring him out some water. I think just a little hot out there. You know, we saw that yesterday, too. And although we don't have confirmation, we're pretty confident in the fact that the issue with Ivan Pinheiro last night was just getting a little warm out there on the mound. And I think that's the same thing here. Burton overheating here a little bit. Frank Viola is going to go out and bring him a drink. You got to be careful. I mean, we talked about it earlier. The turf here, it gets insanely hot. If I remember correctly last year, they tested the turf temperature was like 120. They threw some room temperature water, some cold water, something like that on it, and it went down to like 105 or something in the middle of August. So, you know, this is a situation, and really for both teams, you've got to be careful with your players on the field, and obviously if a guy needs something to drink, get it to him. Viola and Geck heading back to the Rockers dugout now. The batter, Luis Roman, 0 for 1 with a walk. A couple of relievers heading down to the Rockers bullpen right now.
Third baseman, number 19, Luis Roman.
Roman steps into the left-hand box. Runner at second base, Hampton. Runner at first base, Reinheimer. And Burton's ready with the first pitch. That misses upstairs in the count 1-0. Top of the 4th inning. He's at 73 pitches. Be tough to get him through 5, perhaps. Again, you got to get through 5 to keep your DH. I will say Adam Taylor is back for High Point, so They do add an extra bat to the bench. This one fouled off left field side. And the count goes to 1-1. One ball, one strike to Roman. Burton trying to find the final out of the fourth inning. Neither runner being held on. They both take off. That pitch grounded towards second. Ladendorf scoops it up in shallow right onto first for the final out of the inning. But the Honey Hunters extend their lead. A solo home run from Emmanuel Tapia. And they take a 4-0 lead now to the bottom of the fourth inning on the Rockers Baseball Network.
We want you to all head on over to the High Pint right where I'm at and grab some brand new Rockers merchandise. We look forward to seeing you sport your favorite game day swag right here in the stands.
Plus, track hurricanes as they approach their coast this season. Be prepared for what's next. With WXII 12, first warning weather on the WXII 12 News app. Download it now.
Hey, Rockers fans, it's time for our Smile Cam. Come on, fans, let us see all those beautiful big smiles. The Smile Cam is, of course, brought to you by Dr. Bradley Samuel. Do you need a great dentist? Call ours, 336-883-2316. Or simply visit www.bradleyasamueldds.com. Dr. Bradley Samuel, the official dentist of the High Point Rockers.
Bottom of the fourth inning. And the Rockers have the top of the lineup coming up. Russell, Leklinski, and Downs looking for their first hit of the afternoon still against John Anderson, who has breezed through 3 innings at 30 pitches. 21 of them 4 strikes. Michael Russell will lead things off here. Fly out to right field his first time up. John Anderson climbing up the back of the pitching mound.
Number 4, Michael Russell.
Russell hitting at 235. Anderson ready with the first pitch of the fourth inning. Fastball. Russell fouls it off of his foot. And he's obviously in some discomfort, but he gets up and is trying to hobble it off. It hit him off of the left foot. And now he sits back down. He's in very much discomfort, tries to get back up. Rockers cannot catch a break. Lattimore fouled one off the inside of his knee yesterday, and although he was able to stay in the game, ended up having to wear a knee brace the rest of the time. And the tough thing is, with the injury to Michael Martinez, the Rockers don't have a whole lot of available position players that can play the infield. What would most likely happen here is if Russell can't go, which he's trying to walk it off still, but if he couldn't go, my guess would be Aklinski comes in from center to third, and Jay Gonzalez goes out to center. But Russell's picked up his bat now. He's going to try to keep going. He says he's good to go. He's taking a couple of practice swings now. Joe Geck has seen everything he needs to see. Same with Jamie Keefe, both of them heading back to their previous perches. And so they count 0-1. Well, it's extremely stereotypical and cliche, but for whoever it is that said if it wasn't for bad luck, you'd have no luck at all, he must have been to a couple of Rockers games as Russell pops it up in the infield. Tapia there, Smith calling him off. And that is the first out of the inning. And John Anderson has retired the first 10 hitters he's faced.
Center fielder, number 14, Ben.
Here's Ben Aklinski, grounded out to short his first time up. Jerry Downs waits in the on-deck circle. Still trying to see who the first base runner of the day will be. First pitch to Aklinski, there's a strike, and the count 0-1. Aklinski's kind of settled in the 270s in terms of batting average. Was at one point up in the top couple in the league. This one a weak ground ball to third, coming in on it Roman. The throw to first will retire Aklinski for the second out of the fourth inning. Brings up Jerry Downs, who struck out his first time up.
First baseman, number 28, Jerry Downs.
Downs sitting right at 280. Still playing his usual excellent brand of defense over at first base this season as well. Big swing and a miss there, and the count 0-1. Downs at first base, a .990 fielding percentage. It all adds up to the Rockers being the best fielding team in the Atlantic League at .982. There's a strike. And the count 0-2. Gastonia, we mentioned earlier, fourth in the Atlantic League. They're sitting at .977. Here comes an 0-2 to Downs. Foul ball towards the Rockers dugout. And the count now moves to 0-2. Top of the fifth inning. It'll be 4, 5, 6 coming up for Gastonia, beginning off with Zach Jarrett, who may be replaced by Emmanuel Tapia as the hardest out for Rockers pitchers to get this year. Is that pitch low? And the count 1-2. Anderson ready with the 1-2. And the lefty rocks, kicks, and fires. Check swing high. Downs did not go. And the count 2-2. No action in the High Point bullpen. They'll try to get Burton through the fifth inning. Here comes the 2-2 on the way. That's down low and the count full. Jerry Downs has battled back from 0-2, now 3-2. Payoff pitch on the way. Left-handed hitting first baseman. Anderson fires. Downs grounds it to second. Smith on to first. That's 12 up, 12 down for John Anderson. We're through 4 innings of play. And the Honey Hunters lead at 4-0 on the Rockers Baseball Network.
Do you feel like it? Sunday afternoon, beautiful day. The Rockers, please join the Rockers Hype Squad in dancing along to the Cotton Eye Show. Come on, let's see those dance moves.
Top of the fifth inning, Gastonia with a 4-0 lead over High Point. Let's take a look at our first mention of the Atlantic League in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. That is the earpiece that was worn, the first automated ball strike system that was used in 2019 July 25th, in a game between the High Point Rockers and the Lancaster Barnstormers, was umpire Fred DeJesus who used that device up in Lancaster. Actually, reading it correctly, it was there were two different games going on. It was the Rockers and Barnstormers, then the Ducks and Bees. Those games began at the same time, so we don't exactly know which one was first in terms of by the second, but the earpiece was used by the umpire in the Bees-Ducks game by Fred DeJesus as the first pitch misses ball one to Zach Jarrett, and Burton delivers curveball hit high in the air into center. Klinski drifting a couple of steps back and puts it away for the first out of the inning. It was requested by the National Baseball Hall of Fame Museum to represent the first steps of ball strike technology in baseball. So that is the first of three items in the Atlantic League. Currently have a home in the Hall of Fame. We'll tell you about the other two later on this afternoon as well. The hitter right now, Luis Castro, 0 for 1 with a walk and a stolen base. Burton's first pitch on the way, fastball outside, and the count goes to 1-0. Wind had shifted a little bit at one point, was going more out towards right center, but is now back out towards left field. Burton ready with the 1-0. That one bounces in front of the plate. 2 balls, no strikes now. Rockers slated to finish July with their second consecutive month with a losing record. They are 5-15 here. That pitch a called strike. And the count 2-1 with 7 games remaining, including today's game in the month of July. The best case scenario, 12-15. Is that pitch down and away, and the count 2-2. Check that 2-1. Maybe I can try reading. 3-1. There we go. This coming off of an 11-16 June, and if it wasn't for that 20-6 May, the Rockers would be in trouble right now. That pitch outside, ball 4. Castro has walked for the second time tonight. Burton's up at 83 pitches. This will be his final inning. Pretty confident in that. He's walked 6 in today's game. Hitter Jake Skoll 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. Rockers have gotten what they needed out of Burton, though, again. Well, Frank Viola said he's a battler, and the key for him is just to keep them in the game, and he has certainly done that today. Has it been pretty? Not necessarily, but he has done the job that the Rockers have asked him to do. A towering pop-up into right field, Xander Wheel there, and that is the second out. Brings up Jalen Smith, 1 for 2 with a run scored. The tough thing is, the Rockers needed Burton to keep them in the game. John Anderson has done everything to take the offense out of the game by retiring the first 12 hitters he's faced. Check over to first. Back in safely is Castro. And Burton ready now, first pitch of the at-bat. Popped up into shallow left field. It's going to curl foul. Long run for Trejo, and he will make the catch. About a step and a half into foul territory for the final out of the inning. So with that, we're halfway home. Bottom of the 5th coming up next. Honey Hunters lead it 4-0 on the Rockers Baseball Network.
For this week's Rockers Hit Highlight Player of the Week, let's shine a light on one of the Rockers outfielders, Adam Taylor. He is native to the state of North Carolina, and he is a member of the U.S. Army National Guard Reserve. Adam is also a full-time realtor. I hope you enjoyed learning about your Rockers player.
Bottom of the 5th inning, High Point has action in the bullpen. It is Gabriel Castellanos up and throwing, one of the newest Rockers, so he is taking his first couple of warm-up tosses and looks like he will be making his Rockers debut in the 6th inning. But right now, Rockers have to figure out John Anderson. It'll be 4, 5, 6 coming up. Wheel, Morrison, and Trejo here. Xander grounded out to second, Morrison grounded out to first, and Trejo struck out. The 4th inning for John Anderson marked the first time today that he did not end the inning with a strikeout. Doesn't matter how you get the outs, just matters that you get them. So here comes Xander Wheel with a 281 average, clambering into the right-hand batter's box. Stages of this game, High Point needs to get the offense going, or else they will lose a 6th consecutive series to start the second half. That pitch up high, and the count 1-0. They've been a very streaky team this year. They have 2 separate 10-game losing streaks. They also have winning streaks of 10 and 8. Here's the 1-0 upstairs, and the count 2-0. All that adds up to a 42-40 record. This is game number 83 out of 152, so we are under 50 games to go in the season. That is crazy. Wheel swings, line drive, left field. This will get down. The Rockers have their first hit of the game. Wheel rounding first, on his way to second. And it is a stand-up double for Xander Wheel. The first Rocker hit, the first Rocker base runner, and their first runner in scoring position. Let's see if that's enough to open the gates a little bit here for High Point. That'll bring up Logan Morrison. Morrison has been struggling a little recently, average down to 262. 9 home runs and 31 batted in. Anderson ready. First pitch on the way. High fastball. Called a strike to Morrison. And the count 0-1. Well, in the Rockers' last 5 games against Gastonia, they have not been able to score more than 5 runs in any of those games. And today, looks like it may be 6 in a row, unless something changes very quickly. Here comes an 0-1. Morrison off speed, lines it. And a shallow left coming in is Jarrett. Can't find it. It drops for a hit. Xander Wheel into third base. Runners at the corners. A blue pit there from Logan Morrison. Zach Jarrett, I don't know if he lost it in the sun or pulled up on it or what, but looked like he was going to be able to make the catch, but ultimately he didn't. Rockers have runners at the corners. Here is Cesar Trejo now. Trejo 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Honey Hunters will give up the run for an out. Give up the run even for a double play specifically. Trejo here in 2021 loved playing pepper with that left field wall out there. Would hit doubles down the line almost with regularity as Anderson bounces that first pitch in, ball 1. Well, the Rockers were down 4 yesterday. They cut it to 2. Ultimately, that ended up being the final deficit. Anderson ready. 1-0 on the way to Trejo. Anderson holds the set, now kicks and fires. Trejo a big swing and a miss. Chase that one just a little bit south of the zone, and the count goes to 1-1. Well, going back to last night, assuming Castellanos will come in for High Point as the next pitcher out of the pen, and it certainly seems like he will. Going back to last night, last three pitchers for the Rockers making their debut. As this one lined left field side foul. Cesar Trejo about took a chunk out of Xander Wheel. The count 1-2. Xander was standing about a step and a half into foul territory. So he wouldn't have been out. He just would have been sore. A ball and 2 strikes on the way. Trejo spreading out the stance a little bit in the right-hand box. 1-2 on the way from Anderson. Fastball, that is strike 3 at the bottom of the zone. Trejo retired looking, and that is the first out of the inning. Brings up Tyler Ladendorf. John Anderson gave him a steady diet down and in, and then went down and away for the final one. First pitch on the way to Ladendorf. Swings, pops it up, right field side foul. And out of play, count 0-1. Mike Galino in the on-deck circle. Rockers bench today. Quincy Lattimore, Dakota Mulcahy, Jay Gonzalez, Adam Taylor. Ladendorf fouls this one off and slams into the railing on the front of the Gastonia dugout and sends somebody scrambling out of the way of that ball. Maybe somebody perhaps hanging over the rail. It's either Ezekiel Zabaleta or perhaps Onis Farfan. I'm not sure which one. I saw 2 as the first number. Here's the 0-2 to Ladendorf. Pops this one up, right field side foul. And the count remains 0-2. It's off in the distance and not providing any cause for concern. There is a dark gray cloud down the right field side. But again, well out of play and still checking the weather today. We are fine for today's game. The field bathed in sunlight. Here comes an 0-2. Anderson, high fastball, and the count 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Next pitch for Anderson will be his 55th. We're just in the bottom of the 5th inning, so he is on track to perhaps even go 2 to 3 more innings. 1-2 on the way. First a check over to first base on Morrison. He's back in standing. That's less a concern of Morrison taking off on a pitch and more just trying to keep him close by so as to try to keep him from going first to third on a base hit. Here comes the 1-2. Ladendorf takes. Okay, it's a good take there. Close pitch. The count 2-2. Holderbach tried to hold the frame to see if he would get a call. 2-2 on the way. Runners at the corners. Anderson kicks and fires off speed. Ladendorf just clips it off the end of the bat. Stays alive. 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Gastonia. 0-2-0 the line score for High Point. Wheel scores easily on a base hit. Morrison on a great base runner, or he's a smart base runner, doesn't have great speed. That's the way we wanted to say that. Here's the 2-2. Fastball bounced in the turf, and the count goes full. If I'm seeing in the distance correctly, it looks like a couple of kids enjoying the splash pad down there in Blessing Park. It is, again, a warm day. 5:30 here this afternoon, and it's still sitting at 89 degrees. Feels like 96. Here's the 3-2. Fastball, Ladendorf pops it foul. Stays alive yet again. Next pitch will be the 9th of this at-bat. Saw a couple really lengthy at-bats the first game of the series. Rockers were able to put a couple of long ones against Onis Farfan, who started that game for the Honey Hunters. Another payoff pitch coming to Ladendorf from Anderson. First, though, a check back on Logan Morrison at first. Bit of a slower pace here in the bottom of the 5th inning, now that the Rockers had picked up their first couple of base runners. There's a pitch. Ladendorf grounds it to short, should be 2. Reinheimer to second for 1. Relay to first. Ladendorf beats it out. Rockers on the board 4-1. Ladendorf's 33rd run batted in this year. There are now 2 outs in the inning, and the batter, Mike Galino.
Number 24, Mike Galino.
Galino fly out to right field his first time up. Anderson ready with the first pitch to Galino. Lefty fires, fastball down and in, and the count goes to 1-0. I'm sure they're everywhere right now, but the amount of June bugs that I have seen right in front of the press box over the last couple of days, absolutely insanity. And I didn't ask him, but I still think, as Galino swings and misses 1-1, last night when we saw Ivan Pinheiro slam down his glove and flip off his hat, I think that's what happened. Was there was a June bug that either landed on him or got to him or what. Because he never acted like he got stung with anything, but I think there was one of those June bugs right around Pinheiro last night. Check over to first base on Ladendorf. He's back in standing. Here comes the fastball. Galino hits it towards third. Roman's going to go to first base to retire Galino. And that is the final out of the inning. Rockers do get a run, though. They're on the board 4-1 as we head to the top of the 6th on the Rockers Baseball Network.
Afternoon, Jimmy Buffett music. Let's get the fin song going. Are you ready to dance the Jimmy Buffett song? Let's do fins. The fin game is brought to you by EA Tools Patio Shop. Realize that quality service for
Rockers go to the bullpen. It's left-hander Gabriel Castellanos making his Rockers debut. A former teammate of Giovanni Alfonso in the minor leagues, signed by Miami in 2011. Career record of 13-28 with a 5.17 ERA. Last pitched in 2018 for Greensboro. Of his 95 career appearances, 60 of them have been starts, but he will start things off in his Rockers career out of the bullpen today. Sam Burton, 5 innings, 4 runs all earned on 4 hits, 2 strikeouts, and 6 walks. And Castellanos about ready to begin his Rockers career. And one of the things I've seen from him, and we've seen him throw a couple of bullpens over the last few weeks to prepare for him being signed, he has got such a free-flowing motion from the left-hand side. And his stuff just looks, it looks almost effortless for the lefty out there, and I'm really excited to see him pitch here today. Well, the second Hall of Fame item from the Major League, or the National Baseball Hall of Fame Museum, the red and blue stitched baseball. Jay Mitchell, Bridgeport, opened the 2015 All-Star Game in Bridgeport, and they debuted the new red and blue stitched ball. It was a throwback to those used in the American League up through 1933. Each American and National League moved to a more traditional baseball, the one we've seen today, in 1934 until the Atlantic League brought it back. So that baseball is in the Hall of Fame. The red, white, and blue stitching that the Atlantic League uses still to this day. There's a strike to Emmanuel Tapia. Second pitch of the inning, so the count quickly 0-2 now to Emmanuel Tapia. It's Tapia, Holderbach, and Hampton, the 3 hitters coming up. Castellanos ready with the 0-2. That's down in the turf. And the count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, High Point now on the board. They trail by 3. So for Castellanos here, trying to keep it at that 3-run deficit. As the lefty fires outside, 2-2. Off-speed stuff sitting here at about 83, 84. His first pitch was a fastball, but I didn't think to look up at the radar gun. So once he throws another one, we'll see what the fastball looks like. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Down goes Tapia. Strike 3. That's the first out of the 6th inning. Brings up Holderbach, who's 0 for 2. A fly ball to right. And a ground out back to the mound. Well, the Rockers head to Kentucky this week, take on the Genomes on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. The rotation from Frank Viola this morning, we don't know Tuesday's starter. Liam O'Sullivan goes Wednesday. Craig Stem will be the starting pitcher Thursday. First pitch to Holderbach. That's fouled off, and the count 0-1. Stem has been fantastic for High Point recently. In fact, after today, he'll be an inning and a third shy of qualifying for the Atlantic League ERA title, which, if he did qualify, he would slide in 3rd place in the Atlantic League. There's a fastball at 89 miles an hour inside, the count 1-1. So as long as he gets through, I think it ends up being, 5 or 6 innings on his start Thursday. Let me do the math real quick, because why not? So this is game 83. Tuesday is 84. Wednesday is 85. Thursday is 86. You have to pitch. It's games played times 0.8. 68, 69. Rounds up to 69. So if Stem pitches 5 innings, 5 1/3 technically, on Friday or on Thursday, he will once again qualify in the ERA race. And this has been your Sunday math lesson. Anyways, 1-2 on the way. Castellanos ready. Off speed, little half swing there from Holderbach. Nasty looking pitch there. A slider from Castellanos, back-to-back strikeouts here in the 6th inning. They'll bring up Reese Hampton. 1 for 3 today with a base hit and a stolen base. Castellanos looking sharp here in his debut. Reaches down and grabs a little bit of the artificial turf pellets around the mound. Drying off his hand. The lefty comes set at the belt. First pitch on the way to Hampton. Fastball, strike. Reese Hampton, a switch hitter. So he'll flip over to the right-hand box here. Here comes the 0-1. That's down in the turf. And the count goes to 1-1. Well, quick inning here. Works out for High Point. Multiple reasons. One, you keep Gastonia off the board. Two, your offense was starting to click a little bit in the 5th inning. Get them back up to the plate. A pitch down low. And the count 2-1. In the bottom of the inning, High Point has 9-1-2. Alfonso, Russell, and Deklinski combined 0 for 5 so far today. Castellanos with the 2-1 lined foul into the Gastonia bullpen. Actually, 2 hops the bullpen and lands in the picnic area. We count 2-2 now. Mentioned today was game number 83, which means that we are at 62.9% through the season. Here comes the 2-2. Castellanos off speed, down and away, and the count goes full. And Giovanni Alfonso was really excited that Castellanos was coming here. He was watching every one of his bullpen sessions. Very quickly, I was too. I was impressed. That pitch just outside. Ball 4. Brings up Jack Reinheimer, 0 for 1 with a couple of walks today. One of the last bullpens that he threw before signing with the team, I was down in the Rockers dugout with Jamie Keefe, and I asked Jamie about what kind of role he envisioned for Castellanos, and he said, at least to start with, he's going to be basically filling in the spot that Austin Glorious just vacated. As this pitch lined into right field, a base hit. Hampton rounding second. He will hold there as Andrew Wheel fires a bullet into the infield. So a 2-out base hit for Reinheimer puts runners at first and second with Luis Roman coming up. He was 0 for 2 with a walk. To finish that thought, though, he said the plan was for him to be long reliever / spot starter to start with, and then kind of see how the role goes from there. Both runners dancing off of their respective bases. Castellanos steps off to keep them there. Here comes the first pitch of the at-bat. And Castellanos fires. This one hit on the ground, first base side, but foul. Knocked down at first base by the new first base coach, Trey Holmes. Earlier today, it was Joseph Rosa. Holmes over there now. Chuck Stewart still down the third base side, though. He will not be vacating that spot anytime soon. Here comes the 0-1. Castellanos fires that one down low, gets away from Galino, picks it up, but there's no throw as both runners advance. Mike Galino looked behind him first. The ball was in front of him. If he had tracked it the entire way, might have had a shot at either base runner, but instead it's a wild pitch that puts two runners in scoring position now with a 1-1 count. Gastonia trying to take back the run that they just gave up in the bottom of the fifth. Here comes the pitch, hit towards short, Alfonso in front of it. And the throw to first base will thwart that effort for the Honey Hunters. The Rockers do put up a 0 in the top of the sixth. We head to the bottom of the sixth now. Honey Hunters lead it 4-1 on the Rockers Baseball Network. Bottom of the sixth inning. And the Honey Hunters with a 4-1 lead over High Point. High Point has 9-1-2 coming up. Alfonso, Russell, and Aklinski. John Anderson at 62 pitches here in the bottom of the sixth inning. Rockers 1 out of 3 with runners in scoring position with 1 left on base. Gastonia 1 out of 6 with runners in scoring position with 6 left on base. Anderson retired the first 12 that he faced today before giving up back-to-back hits for High Point in the fifth. So this inning, we'll see the Rockers begin their third time through the lineup. Alfonso struck out his first time up. One of a quartet of strikeouts by Anderson today. 2 of Cesar Trejo, 1 of Downs, 1 of Giovanni Alfonso. We'll see Dakota Mulcahy down there in the Rockers bullpen. We'll see which pitcher will come up and start throwing to him here in a moment. Castellanos with a successful debut here today. First pitch to Alfonso, a fastball called strike, and the count goes to 0-1. It is, well, not Joe Johnson. He's going to come play protector of Dakota Mulcahy. That pitch down low to Alfonso, and the count 1-1 now. It's going to be Bryce Hensley in the Rockers bullpen. Bryce has been one of the Rockers' best relievers this year. Here comes the 1-1. Alfonso swings, lines this one into right field. Coming quick as Hampton dives, and the ball gets past. Alfonso on his way to second base. He'll have to hold up there because Hampton recovered quickly. It is a leadoff double for the Rockers for the second inning in a row. A good effort from Reese Hampton. Dove towards his left, and the ball got just past him. Good piece of hitting there from Alfonso, who now has a 16-game on-base streak. Up Michael Russell, who's 0 for 2 today. Alfonso giving Albert Gonzalez all the gear. Trading the batting gear for the base running gear, the oven mitt, as it is oft times referred to as. First pitch on the way to Michael Russell. Looking for his first hit of the day. And timeout called at the plate. Hensley earned the victory in Friday's game, pitching a couple of scoreless innings in relief of Craig Stim, who really threw a great game himself. Russell fouls that off in the count 0-1. This may be a very, very crucial inning for High Point. First, the 0-1 to Russell. He swings, high fly ball into center. Going back on it is Skoll, and he will flag it down over the shoulder. Alfonso heads to third. There's one out and a runner at third base now. Batter Ben Aklinski. Reason this one could be an important inning for High Point. Once you get into the Gastonia bullpen, that is perhaps on a team filled with strengths, that may be the strength of the team. Back into this Gastonia bullpen. So for High Point, we'll try to get to Anderson a little bit here, starting to see a little bit of, or a couple of cracks in the armor, if you will. And so for High Point, this may be the inning where you've got to take advantage of him. Here comes the pitch. Klinsky swing and a miss, and the count 0-1. I think perfect scenario here, you get 2 back and you're down 1. Then that gives you 3 offensive innings. If you can hold the Honey Hunters the rest of the way, it'll give you 3 innings to try to make that up. Again, all ifs and speculations, but given what it is right now, just thinking out loud here. Here's the 1-1. Look, when you're in the broadcast booth by yourself, sometimes you got to be your own color commentator. And that's what's happening right now. We're just having a conversation. Here's the 1-1. The Klinsky takes high, and the count is 2-1. If you ever want to be part of the conversation, you can always send a tweet, Kendrick, or at Kendrick_Fruits, Fruits. If you have any questions or anything you want to talk about during the High Point Rockers game, always down for a good old baseball conversation. As that pitch down and in, the count 3-1. Pitch count starting to creep up a little bit for Anderson. Next pitch will be number 72. One bad one away from putting runners at the corners. Here's the 3-1 to Aklinski. And Anderson steps off. Now he's ready. Here comes the 3-1. The lefty fires, and Aklinski swings. Shallow bloop into center. It'll be a long run in for Jake Skoll. Makes the catch on the run. Alfonso gets about halfway up the third baseline, turns around, has to go back as Skoll fired it in home. Thought for a moment Aklinski's ball might drop down, but it did not. And so now there are 2 outs and a runner at third base. Stuart Levy heading down to the Gastonia bullpen, and looks like they're getting somebody up right now. Good distance down there, and I'm not the best at reading numbers from that distance, but I do believe that is Euclides Layer. Pitched 2 innings on Friday. Here comes Jerry Downs. Downs on the day is 0 for 2. First pitch to Jerry, that's upstairs, and the count goes to 1-0. Well, we talked a little bit about the Rockers' struggles with runners on base and runners in scoring position over the beginning of the second half, and those really become all the more magnified when you don't have a lot of base runners in the game to begin with. They become all the more important. try to drive them in when you have the opportunity. That's high and tight to Downs, 2-0. Xander Wheel waits on deck if Downs is able to extend the bottom of the sixth. Anderson ready with the 2-0. The lefty fires. High fastball, 3-0. Reggie Harris and Mauro Gazzo watching intently. Their left-hander works through the back portion of his afternoon. 3-0 on the way to Downs. Expect him to probably be taking all the way. He does. There's a strike at the knees. Good news is Rockers will see Klinski and Downs again at some point today, most likely with one or two base runners. You'll be able to see Wheel and Morrison twice more today as well. As Alfonso was dancing around off at third base, had Anderson's attention. He stepped off for a moment, but now we're ready to go again. 3-1 on the way to Jerry. Here's the pitch from Anderson. Down swings, lines this one into right field. A base hit down the line. Alfonso scores. Downs on his way to second base. Here comes the throw in from Hampton, but it'll be a stand-up RBI double for Jerry Downs. And the Rockers have another run back. It's now 4-2. That is the 44th run batted in for Downs this year. Brings up Xander Wheel, 1 for 2 with a double. Mauro Gazzo is coming out now, and that may already be the end of the day for John Anderson. Anderson at 77 pitches. The Rockers will bring the tying run to the plate as Gazzo will... Well, he's not made the sign yet. Just a long conversation out there with Anderson right now. The rest of the infield has joined him. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Gastonia. 2-4-0 the line score for High Point. And it looks like they're going to leave him in. They do. Gazzo elects to stay with his left-hander. And so the Rockers now with the tying run at the plate. It's Xander Wheel, their best power hitter this year. Picked up that double as the first Rockers hit of the game his last time up.
Right fielder, number 40, Xander Wheel.
Downs takes his lead off of second. Base hit could potentially score him. A couple of good arms in the outfield, though. Got to be careful. Downs has above average speed for a first baseman, though. First pitch to Wheel from Anderson. Xander takes up and away, ball 1. Gastonia 3 runs in the second. 1 run in the fourth. High Point 1 in the fifth, 1 in the sixth up to this point. Here comes the 1-0. Anderson fires. There's a ball outside. And Xander now ahead 2-0 in the count. Logan Morrison waiting. He'll be the next batter up if Xander extends the bottom of the sixth. Anderson ready with the 2-0. Get the feeling this will be his final hitter, regardless of what happens the rest of the way. There's a strike. 2-1. He gets the out. He'll be through after 6. If Xander extends the inning, I think we see Lair come in. 2 balls and a strike to Wheel. Anderson kicks and fires. Wheel swings. High fly ball foul. And the count 2-2. Downs, the base runner at second base. Inching a little further off the bag. Creeping in a little bit is Jalen Smith. Not enough to deter Jerry too much as he continues to grow his lead. Here's the pitch, off speed, fouled off. Back behind the plate, Holderbach began to race after it, but the ball comes down well in the seats. And the count remains 2-2. Bryce Hensley not throwing in the Rockers bullpen anymore. He is warm and ready to go. We get to the top of the 7th. Anderson taking a long look in. I think Wheel is going to ask for time, and he will. We've seen that a couple of times today between Anderson and Alex Holderbach, just standing there waiting. Here comes the 2-2. And the lefty delivers. Off speed down in the turf, blocked up by Holderbach, and the count goes full. Speaking of waiting, now Euclides Laer is waiting in the Gastonia bullpen, just flipping the ball up and down. He's ready to come in. Pitch number 84 on the way here. Rockers have already got one in the 6th. Love to add a second one. Anderson comes set. Runner will go. Here's the 3-2. That's down low, ball 4. Jerry Downs actually got about halfway down the third baseline, ended up not going. So Anderson issues the walk. That brings up Logan Morrison. The only thing that may keep Anderson here is the lefty-lefty matchup. Mauro Gazzo is down at the bottom step, but it looks like he's going to stay there. Morrison steps in, 1 for 2 today. Rockers have the tying run now at first base. Morrison looking for something to turn around his season. First pitch off speed, a called strike. Hitting at 266, 9 home runs and 31 runs batted in. Last home run for Morrison came on the 13th of July against Lancaster. Here comes an 0-1. Anderson fires. Morrison, it got him on the hand. And they are going to send him to first base. A hit by pitch loads the bases. Anderson is jawing at home plate umpire Lindy Hall. He threw inside to Morrison, so the bases are loaded. And Mauro Gazzo has come back out to talk to Lindy Hall. Wonder if he may be going to make a pitching change here as well. And he will. So he's going to come out and take the baseball from Anderson. Rockers have loaded the bases in the bottom of the 6th inning. Gazzo makes the call to the bullpen. And so Cesar Trejo will be facing the first relief pitcher of the day for Gastonia when we come back. So we will step aside and give Laer a chance to warm up. We'll get you all caught up on everything you need to know when we come back. Rockers have loaded the bases in the bottom of the 6th inning, down 2 on the Rockers Baseball Network. Well, the Rockers have their biggest opportunity of the ball game with the bases loaded here, and 2 outs. Euclidis Layer comes in to try to get the final out of the inning for Gastonia. Layer on the year 2-0 with a 0.68 ERA, 28 appearances this year, 12 walks, 21 strikeouts. Opponents hitting 181 against him, and for Layer, all he has to do is get 1 out here for the Honey Hunters. It is Cesar Trejo coming up for High Point, who has struck out twice today. A base hit here could erase all of that, however. Layer's first pitch, Trejo swings, slaps it foul, right field side. And the count 0-1. That's a double in the gap if he can put it in between the lines. Rockers have Downs at third, Wheel at second, Morrison at first. Layer comes set. Here comes the 0-1 to Trejo. Fastball low and the count 1-1. We will hold off on giving you the numbers on John Anderson right now, as he is responsible for all 3 runners on base, so we will wait until we close the book there before we give you his final line. One ball, 1 strike to Trejo. 1 for 7 as a Rocker. Here's the 1-1. Swings, grounds it to second. Smith scoops it up, and the throw to first base, and the Honey Hunters get out of the bases loaded jam. The Rockers do get 1, however, on a RBI extra base hit from Jerry Downs, and it is now a 4-2 score as we head to the top of the 7th inning on the Rockers Baseball Network. Top of the 7th inning, High Point goes to the bullpen. Castellanos in his pro debut goes 1 inning, gives up 1 hit, walks 1, strikes out 2, and it's lefty Bryce Hensley coming in now. 2-2, the record. 2 is the ERA. Also, this is his 33rd appearance this season. 45 innings of work, 15 walks, 30 strikeouts, and opponents hitting .201 against him. He'll face 4, 5, and 6. That is Jarrett, Castro, and Skoll. Well, the final item, the Atlantic League in the Hall of Fame. Any guesses? Any at all? Well, the answer are the shoes of former Southern Maryland infielder Tony Thomas. Back in 2019, the experimental rule allowed batters to advance to first base on any passed ball or wild pitch, regardless of the count. And the first player to quote-unquote steal first was Thomas on July 13th, 2019, and he donated the cleats that he wore that day to the Hall of Fame. There were also 3 players in the Professional Baseball Hall of Fame that have Atlantic League ties. Ricky Henderson played for the Newark Bears in 03 and 04. In 2004, at the age of 45, hit .281 with 9 home runs and 31 runs batted in. So obviously everybody knows Ricky Henderson's connections. Also, how about Tim Raines? Managed the Newark Bears in 09 and 10, leading the team to a playoff spot in 2009. As the first pitch to Jarrett, inside, ball 1. And lastly, Gary Carter managed the Ducks in 2009 and also a playoff spot. Ricky, the Rock, and the Kid. A pitch low, or Rock Reigns rather, not the Rock. Ricky, Rock Reigns, and the Kid. That pitch low, 2-0. Hensley ready, 2-0 on the way. Swung on, right back up the middle. Hensley did well enough just to get out of the way of that one. It's a leadoff base hit for Jarrett, and he now extends his on-base streak to 26 games. Brings up Luis Castro, 0 for 1 with a couple of walks today. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Four runs on 6 hits, no errors for Gastonia, 2-4-0. The line score for High Point here. We're in the top of inning number 7. Hensley ready, first pitch on the way. That's down and in to Castro, and the count 1-0. Jake Skoll in the on-deck circle. Hensley set 1-0 on the way. First to check over to first base on Jarrett. Zach Jarrett, 25 steals this year, so yet another threat to run in this Gastonia lineup. Close your eyes and put your finger down on the roster and you'll probably find a speedster. Here's the 1-0. Just missing down and in, and the count 2-0 now. Hensley has gotten rid of the beard recently. Looks like he's trying to work a mustache, though, on the mound. Here comes the 2-0. Fastball tight, and the count 3-0. Runner on first base, and nobody out as Castro takes a little bit of a walk outside the box. Hensley ready, 3-0 on the way. Rockers trying to hold the deficit at 2. They've been chipping away offensively, but this one hit in the gap in left center field. This one's going to split the outfielders. Trejo will cut it off. They are waving around Zach Jarrett. Here comes the throw from Alfonso Holm. The throw is going to be a little bit short of the plate, and so it's an RBI double for Luis Castro, and he's now 5-2. Jarrett scores all the way from first. Runner at second base now with nobody out, and the hitter is Jake Skoll.
Center fielder, number 4, Jake Skoll.
Skoll today a walk, and is 0 for 2 otherwise. Hensley set, first pitch on the way. And the lefty fires, off speed down in the turf. And the count 1-0. Rockers have used him a ton recently. Not only that, but they've used him in a lot of multi-inning situations as well. Here comes the 1-0. Fastball down and away. Skoll showed bunt, but didn't offer at it. The count 2-0. You know, I was looking at the alumni report this morning. There's the 2-0 pitch to Skoll. Fastball down and away, 3-0. Hensley is struggling here. 2 strikes through 10 pitches. But to finish that thought, Quincy Neaporte is beginning to tear it up again at AA Erie. 21 home runs now for Neaporte. He's got the average up to 284. Called strike at the bottom of the zone there, 3-1. I would not be surprised if Niaporte found himself heading up to AAA before too long. Also, Jonas Scalero, AA Kannapolis. That pitch down and away, ball 4. At single A Kannapolis. That's where he will begin his tenure in the White Sox organization.
Second baseman, number 29, Jalen Smith.
Let's look around, see what's going on today. Frank Viola is going to go out and talk now to Hensley. Erie won today 5-2. Niaporte did go 0 for 4 today in the Tigers organization. Let's see what else, or who else to keep an eye on here. Let's check Kannapolis. I don't know that Scalero was part of the pitching plans for today, but Kannapolis did win 11-1 over Fayetteville. Scalero did not pitch today. Elsewhere, haven't seen Justin Nicolino's name pop up any recently. He did not pitch today for Louisville, but former Gastonia Honey Hunter Deck McGuire did, picking up the win with an inning and a third in relief. Didn't pitch all that well. Gave up 3 runs in an inning and a third, but did earn the victory for Louisville today. As the hitter here is Jalen Smith, 1 for 3. First pitch on the way. Rockers bring the infield in with runners at first and second. That pitch fouled off. Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp playing later on tonight. That's, of course, where we find Huascar Brazoban. You kind of get the feeling that Brazoban not that far away from getting the major league call-up. That pitch hit on the ground to second. Diving stop by Ladendorf onto Alfonso for 1. The throw to first. They got him. What a turn there up the middle by High Point. Tyler Ladendorf, a sliding backhand stop from his knees, the flip to second for 1, and the turn back to first base. That is as pretty a double play as you will see. 4-6-3. Now there are 2 outs in the inning. Emmanuel Tapia comes up. Runner at third base now and 2 outs. First pitch to Tapia. I think he crossed up Galino there. And timeout called. Galino's going to go out. I think they weren't on the same page there. Well, the only thing about that run coming in off the Castro for a moment, I had the chance to say the score was Emmanuel Tapia 4 and the Rockers 2, but now that they've added another run, doesn't quite work that way anymore. Jake Petrichka, continuing the alumni report, pitched a scoreless inning today for St. Paul against Indianapolis this afternoon. Petrichka, of course, in the Minnesota Twins organization. Am I missing any? We can check on Baldonado. We'll see how he looked today. One of a couple of Rockers who have already been Rockers alumni, to have already been in the major leagues. Pitch to Tapia low, and the count goes to 1-0. Baldonado today did not pitch, and by the looks of it, may have been the only pitcher for Rochester. Sorry, I was looking at the wrong side. He did pitch an inning, scoreless inning, struck out 2. Looks like the entire Rochester team pitched today. Oh, we didn't check Palmero or Westfall. Those are the 2 that we forgot. 2 balls and a strike to Emmanuel Tapia. Hensley steps off here for a moment. Rocket City lost earlier today 6-1. Preston Palmero was 0 for 4. Tapia slaps this one on the ground to second. Nice backhand stop again by Ladendorf. Throw to first base in time. Tyler Ladendorf flashing the leather not once but twice here in the top of the 7th inning. And with that, the Rockers get out of the inning with only 1 run allowed. It is 5-2 Gastonia now as we head to the bottom of the 7th. It's stretch time on the Rockers Baseball Network.
Everybody feel good. Be sure to visit your McDonald's in High Point today. Now, let's join together in singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game."
Bottom of the 7th, Euclidis Layer back out on the mound for the Honey Hunters. Rockers have 7, 8, 9 coming up here. That's Ladendorf, Galino, and Alfonso. Wouldn't you know it, we talked about it yesterday. We said if you make a great play in the field, well, you'll be called upon to come hit usually first thing, and that's exactly what they're going to see with Tyler Ladendorf here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Well, we can also close the book on John Anderson. 5 2/3 innings pitched, 2 runs, both earned, 4 hits, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, and 1 hit by pitch. Tyler Ladendorf 0 for 2 with an RBI today. Lead things off here for High Point. In the bottom of the 7th, they are down 3. They were down 4, cut it to 2. Now it's back to 3. So for the Rockers, it all starts with getting that first base runner. The problem is there have not been a whole lot of base runners allowed. Not been a whole lot of base runners allowed by Euclidis Layer this year. Rockers have action in the bullpen. This is Cole Aker, the former Lancaster Barnstormer, acquired in the trade from Chris Proctor yesterday. First pitch to Ladendorf high, 1-0. Aker will be yet another pitcher making his Rockers debut this weekend. Here's the pitch to Ladendorf. Pops it up into shallow right center. Coming in is Hampton and Skoll. Hampton will make the catch. That's the first out of the 7th. Brings up Mike Galino, 0 for 2. 5 runs on 7 hits, no errors for the Honey Hunters. 2-4-0 the line score for High Point. The partly cloudy skies starting to give way to mostly cloudy skies here. Sun, not really an issue. Players not having to shield their eyes as much as that pitch misses 1-0. Wind still going out towards left field. No Rockers really been able to take advantage of that yet as Galino grounds this one fair to Roman, the third baseman. High throw, but Emmanuel Tapia comes back down on the bag a half step in front of Galino's foot. So, 2 outs here in the 7th, and that'll bring up Alfonso, 1 for 2 with a double. Alfonso, the Rockers' all-time leader in games played and base hits. Still continuing to get it done here in his third season with the Rockers. First pitch to Alfonso. He'll take inside from Layer, and the count 1-0. And Layer, much like Anderson did at the beginning of his start, making quick work of the High Point offense. Alfonso swings, rounds it to short, and Reinheimer throws him out. So Layer faces 4 hitters, and it took him 9 pitches. And with that, we head to the top of the 8th inning. We'll take a look at the Atlantic League scoreboard when we come back. Honey Hunters lead it 5-2 on the Rockers Baseball Network. Top of the 8th inning, Rockers go to the bullpen. Cole Aker is the new pitcher for High Point. Acquired via transaction with the Lancaster Barnstormers a couple of days ago. Aker 2-2 with a 5.64 ERA this year. This will be his 21st appearance. He's walked 10, he struck out 21 in 22 innings, and he will face 9-1-2, Holderbach, Hampton, and Reinheimer. Take a look at the Atlantic League scoreboard here while we've got a couple of moments. Everybody in action now, at least everybody's at least started. Extra innings between York and Lancaster, 12-11. The final score in favor of the Revolution in 10 innings today. Staten Island rallies. They were down 4-3 late. They win it 7-4 over the Legends. Victor Capeon picks up the victory. Top of the 4th inning. Dirty Birds thumping the Genomes 8-1. And in the bottom of the 4th inning, the Ducks just barely ahead of Southern Maryland. 6-5 your score in the bottom of the 4th inning there. First pitch of Cole Aker's Rocker career to Alex Holderbach is a fastball fouled off. 92 miles an hour there from Aker. Well, the Ducks Blue Crabs game, Alejandro De Aza and Davidson Romero both have gone deep. David Harris did for Southern Maryland. How about the Genomes and the Dirty Birds Charleston? A 6-run first. Engel Beltre, couple RBIs. Scott Bertram a couple, and Garced has 3. It is now 1-1 to Holderbach. Former Honey Hunter Michael Gunn, the starting pitcher for Charleston today. 1 run as he's finishing up the 4th inning right now. Let's see how York won that game in extra innings against Lancaster. There's a fastball strike at the knees, and the count 1-2. Right-hander up in the pen for the Honey Hunters. It's Sam Bordner. Off of Augie Silk, Nelly Rodriguez, a base hit to score Elmer Reyes in the bottom of the 10th inning. And that's how the Revs walked off today. Telvin Nash hit 2 home runs. This one, speaking of home runs, high and deep into left field. Going back is Trejo. It's going to hit off of the wall. Here comes the throw into second. Holderbach will pull in with a double. Leadoff double for the Honey Hunter catcher, and that'll bring up Reese Hampton. Hampton today 1 for 3 with a base hit, a walk, and a couple of stolen bases. Actually, 1 stolen base and advanced on a wild pitch as well. Cole Aker looking for his first out here in High Point. Obviously, you want to make a good first impression with your new team. Here comes the first pitch, fastball high. Fastball is playing well for Aker, sitting in the low 90s. Right-hander comes set, 1-0 on the way. Fastball down and in. The toughest thing has been with all the roster turnover recently, just trying to figure out who's in what number. So Aker is in Proctor's old number. Burton today was wearing Chasen Bradford's old number. I don't think anybody is currently in the 20 that Glorious was wearing. Fastball outside, and the count 3-0 to Hampton. Talked to Neil Uscali for a little bit today, said he was feeling pretty good. Threw his first bullpen a couple of days ago. Rockers hoping to get that starting pitcher back before too long. That pitch is strike, and the count 3-1. This is a team that really has struggled finding some sort of consistency in the rotation this year. Of the starting pitchers they have right now active, none of them were on the roster to begin the season. As that pitch popped up in the infield, third baseman Russell, shortstop Alfonso. It's Gio making the catch in front of second base for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Reinheimer, 1 for 2 today with 2 walks. Uscali, who is on his second stint on the injured list. The only Rockers still on the roster from the opening day lineup. Or the opening day rotation, rather. Opening day starter Justin Nicolino, now in AAA Louisville in the Reds organization. Cooper Casad had surgery, was done for the year, so he's gone home. Brady Lale, AA New Hampshire, the Blue Jays organization. Jason Manzueta is in Mexico, and Uscali is on the injured list. Off speed, down and away to Reinheimer, and the count 1-0. Well, then you think about some of the other replacements the Rockers brought in. Andrew Church is also out for the season as well. A couple of rookies they brought in. Gave the Rockers a handful of starts. They weren't able to pan out. That pitch down low, and the count 2-0. They found something in Ivan Pinheiro, though. He has been fantastic for High Point. Craig Stem has been able to come back and look very much like the 2019 version of Craig Stem, and he's been very reliable and very, very crucial for High Point here in keeping the Rockers in games. And then Jonas Scalero gave the Rockers 6 good starts, but congratulations to him, as we mentioned earlier and a couple of times this week, as he's now in the White Sox organization, as Reinheimer fouls that one off. So just the turnover, in this High Point rotation this year has just been insane. Aker ready with the 2-1 to Reinheimer. Right-hander holds the set, looks back at Holderbach, now fires a fastball just below the bottom of the zone, doesn't get the call. And the count 3-1. Looks like Bordner done throwing in the Gastonia bullpen, Sam Bordner. 3-1 on the way. Fastball, there's a strike, and the count goes full. Rockers wrapping up their final home series of the month. Again, we don't know who is pitching on Tuesday. We know O'Sullivan is Wednesday, Stem is Thursday. Here comes a payoff pitch to Reinheimer. Pops it up, foul territory, third base side. Russell and Alfonso both there. Alfonso calls Russell off, and he'll make the catch for the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up Luis Roman. Roman 0 for 3 with a walk. In the bottom of the 8th, High Point has the top of the lineup. Russell Leklinski down. We got to Bordner a little bit on Friday. Well, when I say they, I mean Quincy Lattimore. And when I say a little bit, I mean a tie-breaking solo home run in the 8th inning. First pitch coming, fouled off the bat of Roman, and the count 0-1. On deck circle right now, Zach Jarrett. Rockers would love to have him come up with the bases empty, starting the 9th inning instead of with a couple of guys on base. Fastball high and away, and the count 1-1. Akers set. Here's the pitch way high and away. Galino's got to jump up and snag that one. And the count goes to 2-1 now. Major League Baseball Hall of Fame ceremonies continue. Tony Oliva just gave his speech a short while ago. Just been a very celebratory sort of week in professional baseball. That pitch high, and the count 3-1. Well, I guess unless you're a Red Sox fan, a little bit of a rough night the other day. Here comes a 3-1 to Roman. Aker fires, fastball strike on the inside corner, and the count goes full. Cole Aker rather. One strike away from getting out of this 8th inning. Right-hander comes set. And it's high, ball 4. Walks him. That will bring up Zach Jarrett, 1 for 4 today with a base hit and a run scored. High Point pitching has permitted 9 walks today. They've struck out 4. Zach Jarrett bumps up the power numbers just a little bit here in the second half. Could join Jake Skoll, who seems very likely to join the 2020 club this year. Would be his second season in a row. First pitch on the way to Jarrett, high and tight, the fastball buzzed up around his chin, and the count 1-0. Runner at second, Holderbach. Runner at first, Roman. Aker looks back at Holderbach as he holds the set. And that one hits him. Zach Jarrett on his way to first base, loads the bases for Luis Castro. So things started out fairly smoothly for Aker. Gives up the leadoff double, but then got a couple of outs. Now the bases are loaded. Frank Viola comes out. which gives us an opportunity to remind you the next of the series of Rockers baseball summer camps coming up August 3rd through 5th. It is a college prep camp for high school players who are interested in playing ball at the next level. This camp, in addition to working on your baseball skills, will include talking about what the recruiting process is going to look like. What do college coaches expect from players playing at the next level? Differences between the high school and the college game. It's very instructional, very informative on the non-playing side of the game, as well as continuing to hone in on your baseball skills. Rockers players and coaches will be there to provide instruction, and for more information and to register, you can go to highpointrockers.com. Here's Luis Castro now. 1 for 2, a double, a run batted in, and a couple of walks. Bases loaded and 2 outs. Akers' first pitch, curveball inside, almost hit a batter and forced in a run. One ball, no strikes to Castro. Anchor fires, fastball down. Snap throw down to first base, and the throw is not in time. Jerry Downs just about got Zach Jarrett. The tag came down kind of on Jarrett's head. Just the way he slid back into the bag and the way that Jerry Downs had applied the swipe tag. The count 2-0. Rockers will be back in action on Tuesday at the Genomes. Rockers pregame show on MixLR beginning at 6:10. First pitch is 6:35. Here's the 2-0. That's down low, 3-0, and Aker one bad one away from walking in a run. Which would be the absolute worst thing for High Point here. Offense has already been struggling a little bit as is. Not just today, but recently. Here comes the 3-0. This one popped up foul. And the count 3-1. It's already a tough enough order to make up a 3-run deficit against this Gastonia team. 4 runs seems not good at all. Rockers do get somebody up in the bullpen really quickly. I believe that may be well, hang on a second, we'll see. Here comes the pitch. That's outside, ball 4. Nathan Bates, who is in the Rockers bullpen. That is a bases loaded walk to Castro. It is now 6-4. As Holderbach scores. Roman goes to third. Jarrett goes to second. And here is Jake Skoll, 0 for 2 with a couple of walks and a run scored. Rockers have Nathan Bates up in a hurry. And he is quickly warming up with purpose down there. Aker delivers first pitch to Skoll. That just missed ball 1. He has thrown 29 pitches, 11 of them for strikes. Aker ready, 1-0 on the way. There's a fastball strike at the knees, and the count 1-1. Fastball still hitting in the low 90s, that one at 91. Two steps forward, 3 steps back for High Point recently. They chip into the lead. They can't keep the deficit there, and the lead or the deficit continues to grow again. That pitch up high. The count is 2-1. They were down 4 at one point, cut it to 2. It's now back to 4. 6 runs, 8 hits, no errors for Gastonia. 2-4-0 for High Point. Here comes the 2-1 to Skoll. Fastball hit in the air, into left. Going back is Trejo. This ball is foul. Probably had home run distance. Couldn't quite see the way it caromed off of that wall over there to see what it actually hit off of. But either way, probably a good thing it ended up being foul. Here's the 2-2 now coming up in just a moment. So here comes the 2-2. Rockers one strike away from leaving the bases loaded and only giving one run back. Here's the pitch down low, blocked up by Galino, and the count full. Bates continuing to throw in the High Point bullpen. The good thing is with the off day tomorrow, pretty much everybody is available to throw on a Sunday. Here's the 3-2, fouled off. Sam Bordner throwing the occasional pitch in the Gastonia bullpen, mostly just a lot of standing around over there. Another 3-2 on the way to Skoll. Aker fires, swing and a miss, strike three. Aker strikes out Jake Skoll. The Honey Hunters had a chance to put a dagger in, but they weren't able to do so as Aker instead gets the strikeout. And with that, we head to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Honey Hunters do add one. Their lead back to 4. High Point, well, the offense has not been able to put together an explosive inning for, well, since the blowout against the Legends on Wednesday. They're going to have to either do it against Bordner or Balaguer, it seems, late in this ball game. Bottom of the 8th next to the Rockers Baseball Network.
Rocker fans, it's rally time t-shirt toss. Are you ready? Are you ready for some Rocky shirts out here? It's brought to you by Quality Senior Gear, providing quality gear in the comfort of your own home. Rally time t-shirt toss. Make some noise out here, Rocker fans. And now pitching for the Gastonia Honey Hunters, number 36, Sam Porter. Be sure to remember this call to the bullpen is always sponsored by
Bottom of the 8th inning. Euclides Slayer faced 4 hitters, retired them all, and we'll turn it over now to Sam Bordner. Bordner has been very, very useful. The back end of the Gastonia bullpen, 9-5, 34 appearances all out of the pen, 42 innings pitched, 10 walks, 35 strikeouts. Opponents hitting .241 against him, but Bordner second in the Atlantic League in wins, despite having not made a single start.
third baseman, number 4, Michael Russell.
In fact, you look at the Atlantic League leaderboard, Darrell Thompson with 10, Sam Bordner with 9, Mackenzie Mills, formerly of Southern Maryland, also with 9. He's in Mexico now. John Anderson, though, is in line to join them today at 9. First pitch to Michael Russell, high and tight, and the count 1-0. Ryan Dole in the bullpen for High Point. They had Bates up and throwing. Now, this may just be a chance to get Ryan Dole a little bit of work. Here comes the 1-0. Russell pops it foul out of play, straight back, and the count 1-1. Well, Russell coming into today in his 8 games since returning from the injured list. Having an on-base percentage of .500, a batting average of .400. Today, 0 for 3. Bordner ready with the 1-1. And the righty fires. Russell jammed, pops it foul, right field side, and it will get out of play. And the count 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Well, unless the Rockers are able to mount something here, this will be the final time here in either the 8th inning or in the bottom of the 9th. We'll see this power stretch of the lineup. Bordner down and away. Holderbach about had to dive like a soccer goalie trying to keep a ball in front of him to catch that one in the left-hand batter's box, and the count 2-2. Bordner set 2-2 on the way. Russell out in front of it again, pops it foul. And the count remains 2-2. Beniklinski on deck. Top 2 in the Rockers lineup. 0 for 6 today. Table setters not been doing that. Lost my train of thought there. Here comes the 2-2. Russell fouls it off again, straight back to the net. And the count remains 2-2. After today, only 21 home games remain in the High Point Rockers schedule this year between August and September. So check the calendar, the schedule, highpointrockers.com, and while you're there, go ahead and grab your tickets for your next trip to Truist Point. Here's the 2-2 outside. Apparently not. Strike 3 looking. Down goes Russell for the first out of the 8th inning. That brings up Beniklinski, who's 0 for 3. Jerry Downs waits. I would say in the on-deck circle, nobody uses an on-deck circle around here. Just kind of find a spot that is back out of the way. Klinski swings, high fly ball into left. Jarrett going back and makes the catch right in front of the warning track, second out of the inning. Do you remember, I want to say it was the last or next to last year that Adrian Beltre was in Texas. One of the umpires had an issue with where he was standing when he was waiting on deck to hit, and they told him that he needed to be standing in the on-deck circle, so Beltre grabbed the mat and moved it to where he was standing, and the umpire ejected him because Adrian Beltre wasn't standing in the right spot. Downs check swing foul, the count 0-1. Said, I'm standing in the on-deck circle. I just moved the on-deck circle. No balls and a strike. Bordner delivers, off speed low, Downs takes it, and the count goes 1-1. Yep, saw some good things today. Specifically, Gabriel Castellanos out of the bullpen looked really good. Downs fouls that off, and the count 1-2. Really, you go back to the yesterday as well. Cam Cotter, a good debut, all things considered, for the rookie. Rockers have had 9 rookies pitch this year. Cotter, Heltemus, Webb, McDowell, Scalero, Uscali. Downs hits this one right back up the middle. It hits off of Bordner. He couldn't find the ball, now recovers it. Downs is going to be safe at first with an infield single. Looked like it kicked off of the foot of Sam Bordner. He's all right. But the way that it hit off of Bordner's foot, the ball almost just deadened right in front of the mound. But Bordner's first reaction was looking up. He thought the ball kicked off of him and carried him straight up in the air. Couldn't find it. Instead, the ball was lying right in front of him. So it's an infield base hit, brings up Xander Wheel. Oh, we were going through that list of rookie pitchers. That's what we were doing. I may have to start over because I don't remember where I was. First pitch to Wheel, swing and a miss, chased a pitch down in the turf, and the count 0-1. Cotter, Evangelista, Gutierrez, Heltemus, McDowell, Mott, Scalero, Uscali, and Webb, the 9 rookies to pitch for High Point this year. Here comes the 0-1. Bordner fires, and Wheel able to foul it off, and the count 0-2. Well, we talked about it a little bit in the pregame show, how the Rockers had been on this roller coaster, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, for 7 straight games. Unless they get something done here in the next 4 outs, they will be getting off the roller coaster. Unfortunately, they'll be on the wrong side. Here's the 0-2. Fastball down and in. Wheel a aggressive take there. The count 1 ball, 2 strikes. High Point has managed only a single home run in this series. Here comes the 1-2. Wheel reaches for this one, a weak ground ball over to short. Reinheimer's throw to first base close, but it beats Wheel by a half step. That's the final out of the 8th inning. We head to the top of the 9th. Rockers down by 4, 6-2 on the Rockers Baseball Network.
So you'll be here. That's coming up on Tuesday, August the 2nd. Make your plans now.
Hey Rockers fans, Brittany here, coming to you all live from the High Point. We want you to all head.
That's next Tuesday, August 2nd, 6:35 p.m. at your...
Hey Rockers fans, Brittany here, coming to you all live from the High Point. We want you to all head on over to the High Point right where I'm at and grab some brand new Rockers merchandise. We look forward to seeing you sport your favorite game day swag right here in the stands.
Now pitching for the High Point Rockers, number 11, Ryan Dull. This call to the bullpen, always sponsored by Cricket Wireless, working hard to keep you connected and safe. Smile, you're on.
Rockers go to the bullpen. Cole Aker in his High Point debut gives up 1 run in 1 inning of work, 1 hit, 2 walks, 1 strikeout, and hit 2 batters. And High Point will turn it over to Ryan Dull now here in the top of the 9th. Dull on the year. This is his 32nd appearance, 2-0 on the season with a 2.56 ERA, 6 saves and 9 opportunities. 3 walks, 44 strikeouts. Opponents hitting 179 against him. And he will be facing the bottom 3 in the lineup, Smith, Tapia, and Holderbach. There is a right-hander starting to throw in the bullpen for the Honey Hunters. Not sure who it is. Can't see. but it is a right-hander. Maybe blind, but I can tell the difference between right and left. Now that I say that might actually be Henry Martinez. Gordner, though, looks like he's done. 1 inning, gave up 1 hit, struck out 1. Here comes Jalen Smith. Smith today 1 for 4 with a base hit. Rockers are down 4. Dole ready. First pitch on the way. Slider, swing and a miss. That's the bread and butter for Ryan Dole. Just a nasty pitch. And yes, I think you could make the statement, big league slider, because it is, and he's been there. That pitch, strike at the bottom of the zone. And the count 0-2. Here comes a 0-2 on the way. High fastball. Count 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch down in the turf, blocked up by Galino, and the count 2-2. Very curious about the starting pitcher on Tuesday. We were told TBA, which to me makes it seem like it's a guy who may not be here right now. I don't know anything. That's not trying to hint at anything. Is that pitch inside? Smith doesn't go, and the count full. Just my assumption is perhaps TBA means somebody that's not here now. What High Point needs is just some sort of spark. The tough part about that is the 3-2 fouled off. I thought that the 25-run game the other day would have been said spark. Then I thought that Lattimore's late home run Friday could have been the spark. And instead, they both fizzled out the next day. Payoff pitch coming to Smith. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Oh, nope, looks like he got a piece of it. No, Lindy Hall says he is struck out. Jalen Smith was staying there. But now he's walking back, so that's the first out of the inning. And that'll bring up Emmanuel Tapia.
First baseman, number 35, Emmanuel Tapia.
Tapia today, 2 for 4 with a couple of home runs. He was responsible for 4 of the 6 runs next to Gastonia's name on the scoreboard. First pitch coming from Dull, slider. Just low in the count 1-0. Ryan Dull now 45 strikeouts against just 3 walks this season. Here comes the 1-0, fouled off, 1-1. Apologies for that. Ran into a little bit of a coughing fit there right as I was about to make a point about Dull. That pitch low in the count 2-1. We are all good to go. Okay, so last year Ryan Chafee struck out 65 hitters for High Point, the most amongst any Rockers pitcher to not make a single start in the season. That pitch down to Tapia in the count 3-1. Ryan Dull is at 45 strikeouts right now, and he obviously will not make a start this year. And so if he hangs around a little bit longer, and again, I think there's a very good chance he gets picked up by a big league club by the end of the year. But if he's still here, he may make a run at Chafee's record as that pitch inside. And it's ball 4 to Tapia. That's the 4th walk issued by Dole all season, and that brings up Holderbach, who's 1 for 4 with a double.
The catcher, number 11, Alex Holderbach.
Here comes the first pitch to Holderbach. Chases the high fastball, fouled it off, and the count 0-1. Not a whole lot of speed on the base paths. Rockers get a ground ball. They may have a chance to turn 2. They turned a nice double play earlier today. Here comes the pitch, check swing. Holderbach, though, does go around, and the count 0-2. Tapia hanging close by at first base. One, 2 on the way. Dole holds the set. Slider hit weakly, right back to the mound. Dole picks it up. His only play is to first. Pulls Jerry Downs off of the bag, but Calvin Baker says he kept a toe on. And that is the second out of the inning. That goes 1-3. Heading to second base is Tapia. And that will bring up Reese Hampton, who is 1 for 4. In the bottom of the 9th inning, High Point will have 5, 6, 7. Morrison, Trejo, and Ladendorf, the 3 scheduled hitters. I have seen Adam Taylor with the bat a couple of times in the last few innings. I don't know, perhaps he was just stretching and staying loose, or whether or not he may actually be coming in to potentially pinch hit. First pitch coming to Hampton. Dole fires slider, strike, bottom of the zone, in the count 0-1. Well, for High Point, yet another game against Gastonia where they don't muster a whole lot of offense. This one hit high in the air into center. But right there is Aklinski. Easy play. And that is the final out of the inning. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Rockers down 4. And again, Morrison, Trejo, and Ladendorf, the scheduled hitters coming up against a new pitcher. We'll let you know who it is when we come back on the Rockers Baseball Network. Bottom of the 9th inning. Rockers have 5, 6, 7 coming up against Henry Martinez. Sam Bordner, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout. Henry Martinez comes in now 2-0, 5.01 the ERA. This is his 18th appearance. 10 walks, 31 strikeouts. Opponent's hitting .227 against him. Rockers saw him on Friday in the 4th inning. Got a couple runners aboard. They couldn't do anything with him. 3rd inning, they got a runner to third base with 1 out. He couldn't score. So I think the bend but don't break mantra for Henry Martinez, his first time out against High Point this weekend. Logan Morrison steps up. Cesar Trejo is in the on-deck circle. Then at the top step, it is both Adam Taylor and Tyler Ladendorf. First pitch to Morrison, missed ball 1. Well, if Ladendorf gets on, it's the catcher's spot next. You wonder if Taylor may perhaps be the pinch hitter if Galino's spot comes up. Morrison takes away in the count 2-0. Logan 1 for 2. He's also been hit by a pitch. Here's the 2-0. Swings, high fly ball, shallow left. Jarrett there. And that's the first out of the 9th inning. Again, Rockers' first pitch against the Genomes on Tuesday, 6:35. Rockers' pregame show begins at 6:10. On MixLR, the free app, download, search High Point Rockers Baseball, MixLR. First pitch to Cesar Trejo. Swings, high fly ball into left center field. This ball going back. It is going to one-hop the wall. Trejo on his way to second. Here comes the throw from Jarrett. Trejo dives head first, and he's in safely. A one-out double. Going to bring up Tyler Ladendorf now, and Adam Taylor is, in fact, in the on-deck circle for the catcher.
Second baseman, number 9, Tyler Ladendorf.
Tyler Ladendorf 0 for 3 today. Here comes the first pitch to him. Takes a strike and the count 0-1. One on the way. Trejo off of second. Here's the pitch. Ladendorf off the end of the bat towards second base. Smith picks it up. Throw to first base in plenty of time to get Ladendorf, and the Rockers down to their final out. Heading to third base is Trejo. Taylor coming in to pinch hit. Left-hand hitter. Taylor on the year for High Point. Hitting .235 with 4 runs batted in. This will be just his 7th appearance this year. His return gives the Rockers a little bit of depth back off of the bench area. He and Cesar Trejo both have been huge in being able to provide a little bit of that. First pitch coming to Taylor, swing and a miss. Late on the fastball, 97 from Martinez in the count 0-1. Rockers post-game show coming up following the conclusion of today's game. We'll wrap up the game, wrap up the Sunday around the Atlantic League, and send you off into your off day. Taylor takes a strike fastball inside, and the count 0-2. Rockers down to their final strike. Martinez gets the sign, and he's ready. 0-2 on the way. Fastball. Taylor rips this one to second. Knocked down by Jalen Smith. Not going to be able to make a play. Trejo scores. Rockers are alive. It's an RBI pinch hit single for Adam Taylor. It is now 6-3, and Giovanni Alfonso the batter. That's what I love about Adam Taylor. All he does is just show up and hit. He's gone for 2 or 3 weeks at a time, doing his other jobs. Comes up here, boom, base hit. Here comes the first pitch to Alfonso. Off speed, misses, and the count 1-0. 6-8-0 for Gastonia. 3 runs, 7 hits, no errors for High Point. Here comes the 1-0. Alfonso late fouls it off into the Rockers' dugout. Not directly in, hits off the netting and then caroms into the Rockers' dugout. Top of the lineup. Be up next if Alfonso was able to get on. Martinez delivers. Alfonso chops it foul, and for the second straight at-bat, High Point down to their final strike. Alfonso taps the bat head on the plate. Martinez ready with an 0-2. And here comes the pitch down in the turf, blocked up by Holderbach, and the count remains or moves to 1-2. Rockers stay alive for one more pitch. Anderson about to earn his 9th win of the year. A 3-way tie, second place in the Atlantic League. Here comes the 1-2, down in the turf again, and another scoop by Holderbach. And we bring the Atlantic League scoreboard to you at the end of the game today in the Rockers post-game show. Everybody except for 2 games final. Those are both in the 6th inning right now. Martinez ready. Here comes the 2-2. That's down low. I thought that was ball 3. Mauro Gazzo is saying that too. I had that as being the full count. So let's see. I think the umpires are going to get together and talk about that. I'm with Gazzo there. I thought that was 3-2. Apparently umpires thought that was ball 4 also. So Giovanni Alfonso works a walk, brings up the tying run, and Michael Russell.
Third baseman, number 4,
Michael Russell today 0 for 4. Martinez comes set. First pitch on the way. Russell swings, pops it foul, and the count 0-1. Taylor at second, and Alfonso at first. Martinez ready. Here comes the pitch. Chopper up the middle, might squeak through. It's going to be picked up by Reinheimer, but he's not able to make a play anywhere. It's an infield base hit for Russell, and the bases are loaded here in the 9th inning. Brings up Ben Aklinski. The tying run is the runner at first base, and Russell. Ben Aklinski 0 for 5 today. Ben has been a Sunday hero before. Reggie Harris is going to go out and talk to Martinez here. Nobody up in the bullpen for the Honey Hunters. Maybe too late for that. Rockers have Crawford in the bullpen for High Point should the contest be extended. Yeah, Aklinski, a couple of walk-offs this year. Rockers aren't asking him to be the hero. They're just asking him not to be the last out. Jesus Balaguer has just gotten up in the Gastonia bullpen. Will not be able to face Aklinski, though, so this one is he does not have enough time to come in and face Aklinski. Reggie Harris trying to stretch whatever time he can get out of that mound visit. Taylor at third, Alfonso at second, Russell at first. Rockers have had a walk-off home run. If you are curious, they have never had a walk-off grand slam. Again, they're just looking for the hit. First pitch, misses ball one. Just something to extend the inning. And by that note, extend the game. The ball and no strikes to Aklinski. Martinez fires. Aklinski swings, high fly ball. Into left. Did he do it? Rockabye baseball. Rutgers win. A walk-off grand slam. Ben Aklinski, the hero. 7-6 High Point. Okay. You cannot tell me that is not the spark that this team needed. Ben Aklinski, that may be, if the Rockers do turn around the second half, we could point to that moment as the moment. Final score, Rockers 7, Honey Hunters 6. Rockers post-game show next on the Rockers Baseball Network. Well, if you ever wonder what the definition of snatching victory from the jaws of defeat is, well, look no further than this game today. The Rockers down 3 with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. And Ben Aklinski hits the first walk-off grand slam in High Point Rockers history. The Rockers' 3rd grand slam of the year. But more importantly, the Rockers have won their first series of the second half. Final score tonight, Rockers 7 and the Honey Hunters 6. It didn't start off really good for High Point, though. Gastonia with 3 runs in the second inning. A 3-run blast from Emmanuel Tapia gives the Honey Hunters a 3-0 lead. They would extend it 4-0 on Tapia's second home run of the game. And at that point, 4-1, Rockers would get one in the 5th inning. RBI, the fielder's choice off the bat of Tyler Ladendorf, makes it 4-1. Could cut it to 4-2 the next inning, an RBI double from Jerry Downs. 4-2 the score. 5-2 Gastonia then in the 7th inning. A base hit from Luis Castro drove in a run, and another comes in the 8th inning. A walk, or a double by Holderbach, and the Honey Hunters would end up loading the bases on a walk and a hit by pitch. And a bases loaded walk to Castro makes it 6-2. In the 9th inning, Rockers get 1 run in on an RBI base hit from Adam Taylor. Cesar Trejo came in and scored. They load the bases with 2 outs in the inning. Ben Aklinski, who comes up 0 for 4 on the day, launches a home run to take the game away from Gastonia, take the series away from Gastonia. 7-6, your final score. What a finish tonight. Elsewhere in the Atlantic League, York with a 12-11 win, a walk-off win there as well. Nelly Rodriguez, an RBI base hit, win the ball game for the Rebs. Staten Island defeats Lexington 7-4. And elsewhere in the Atlantic League, 2 games still in progress. Dirty Birds up 8-2 over the Genomes. Southern Maryland on top of Long Island 11-6. They're in the top of the 6th inning there. Here at Truist Point, the final line score 6 runs on 8 hits, no errors for the Honey Hunters, 7 runs on 9 hits, no errors for the Rockers. A side note, no errors committed by either team in this entire series. Well played defensively. Winning pitcher Ryan Dahl goes to 3-0. Henry Martinez takes the loss, falling to 2-1 today. 3 hours and 18 minutes the time of the game today, with an attendance of 1,622. Well, for High Point, it was not a pretty game. There was a large stretch of the game where just things were not going right. I mean, heck, John Anderson takes a perfect game into the 5th inning. But, you know, I hearken back to perhaps an unsung hero in this game, and it honestly is Sam Burton. The whole point, and the thing that Frank Viola told me, he said, look, they need Burton to keep us in the game, give us a chance to win this game. And it could have unraveled a couple of times, but was able to, after the first 2 hitters get on base in the 2nd inning, Tapia hits the home run to make it 3-0. He comes back and retires the next 3 hitters. After Tapia hits his home run in the 4th inning, he is able to get out of a tough spot and get out of that inning. And you know what? Ultimately, the fact that he was able to wriggle out of those spots, plus a couple other jams as well, the Rockers were able to get out of, specifically also Aker only allowing 1 run in the 8th inning. Hensley getting out of the 7th, leaving a runner stranded at 3rd. Really, it was a bend but don't break day for the Rockers pitching staff today, and ultimately that ends up helping them in winning this game. Player of the game, though, the game ball, without a doubt, goes to Ben Aklinski for coming up clutch, his 3rd walk-off hit and 3rd walk-off win for the Rockers this year, for Ben Aklinski anyways. He's proven himself to be Mr. Clutch, if you will, for High Point in 2022, much like Johnny Field was for the Rockers last year. Is there any coincidence that he was the center fielder today and Johnny Field, the former center fielder of the Rockers, had all those clutch hits? I think not. Anyways, a big win for High Point today, the first time they have taken Gastonia down in a series this year. Rockers fans, enjoy this one. The work is not done yet. Rockers improved to 4-13 in the second half. Gastonia falls to 14-3 rather. And so for High Point now, you take your day off, you enjoy your day off, and you've got to figure out how to build off of this one, because, you know, we thought a couple of games this past week would be a momentum shifter for the Rockers. They proved not to be. If this one is not a momentum shifter, I don't know what is. So this is the chance that the Rockers have to turn this around. And it begins Tuesday at Wild Health Field against the Genomes. 6:35 first pitch, and we'll be on MixLR with the Rockers pregame show at 6:10. Wow, what a finish. Thank you for spending your Sunday afternoon and evening with us. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you stuck around to the end to see one of the greatest finishes in High Point Rockers history. Big thank you to everyone down in the control room for all their hard work, our fantastic camera operators here, and the Rockers Media Department as well. I think that'll do it for us today. We'll talk to you again Tuesday, 6:10. The Rockers take on the Genomes. Final score one last time. The Rockers walk it off in dramatic fashion. The walk-off grand slam from Ben Aklinski. Rockers 7, Honey Hunters 6. I'm Kendrick Fruits, wishing you a rockin' good night. Enjoy your off day. We'll see you Tuesday. This has been a presentation, High Point Rockers Baseball on the Rockers Baseball Network.